Hello and welcome to the movie podcast. My name is Anthony. As always, I'm joined by my two lovely co-hosts, or should I say my Kamikani show hosts.
Kamikani? I thought you called us commies, first of all.
Did you make that up on the spot?
I just made that.
That felt like something you thought about for months, probably.
We just got out of the Comic-Con
virtual
Comic-Con feed. But yeah, Daniel and Shay, you are also here with me today.
Oh, wait, who are those other guys that were here?
Yeah, is it a rhyme as well? Daniel and Shay, you are here with me today. What are we gonna say about the news? Okay, like that's what you're pretty much gonna do.
Oh no, that's just how I talk. I talk in riddles.
You talk in riddles?
Yeah,
okay.
fucking Riddler over here, eh?
Riddler.
Oh God.
But how are you guys doing?
Good. Yeah, we're coming off a crazy week of. I mean, it was a quiet week of news, and then the last couple of days were just like an avalanche of news and movie announcements and all that fun stuff. But there's also a lot of cool stuff going on the show too that have been keeping us busy. But yeah, I'm doing well. Otherwise, we like to talk about the weather. The weather's been very hot and it's been very muggy. Today it might rain. I don't know what it is when you're listening to this episode, but I hope the future us is enjoying the weather or maybe not enjoying the weather.
And I hope the future us is alive. That's what I always think.
We've been getting some movie dates for years that I never really thought about before.
Yeah.
Like when you see 2025,
Yeah.
I'm like, that feels like it's 25 years away from now.
I do the math. I'm like, okay, how old am I at that point? So then I think about how old I am. I'm like, where should I be in my life at this point? I'm like, do I have a kid at this point? I don't think so. But yeah, like I'm good. I'm doing good.
Shay had like
I had an existential crisis thinking about these days because I'm like, man, I'm gonna be like X amount of years old. Like
you'll be 94 years old.
That's the first thing that happens to me when something like down the road is coming out, because we're gonna be talking about like the Marvel Phase 4, 5, and 6. I look at the date and I'm like, how old am I gonna be?
Yeah,
am I gonna be the same?
What should I be doing in my life at that?
Am
point?
I alive?
Yeah. That part is never like the main part. Is just like, I hope I'm secure.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I hope shit's going well for me at that point.
Where's the movie podcast?
I hope when I'm at that Avengers event, I'm like, yeah, this feels good.
Yeah, I'm not like a drunk or on
like needles stuck in your arm, you know?
Okay.
Yeah,
you're bringing
needles
opioids back. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, opioids are still here.
Yeah, but it's not like the.
It's not a cool drug, though.
Yeah, it's not.
No crazy stories this week. Nothing like happened to you guys.
No one. You know what I wonder though? I wonder how that guy enjoyed Nope. If you listen to our Nope review,
I wanted to go back.
I wanted to buy tickets for the seats beside him just to be like, hey, dude, I'll tell you, I'm gonna ruin the whole movie for you right now.
I wanted to just buy a ticket, sit in the seat, and then say, man.
Hey man,
and look at
you're
the
my
same.
seat.
Look at that date.
You were here.
That was supposed to be yesterday.
We tricked you.
Yeah.
We got you, man.
Dude, those tickets aren't for today. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, I'd want that to happen. No, nothing crazy, I'd say. I had a pretty normal week.
Do you know something that we don't know? Did something happen to us that should have been crazy or is
no?
Because
usually there's some sort of like craziness that happens.
Yeah,
there usually is.
Which we had our, the dude who thought we were in his seat when we weren't in his seat.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I like how we're blowing this up to like Avengers proportion levels of like this guy.
That was also
this guy pulled out a gun. Yeah. And
no, luckily he didn't do that.
There was a news story that I think we were talking about that broke yesterday about the guy who worked for Google who talked to the Washington Post about how he believes there's like AI that's sentient, and self-aware.
Yeah.
And Google's like, nah, that's not true.
I thought that was a while ago.
Yesterday news broke that he was let go from Google.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think he's let go a little while ago though.
Oh, I thought it was yesterday.
Was he let go again? They're bringing him back in.
He was on leave. He was on paid leave.
Oh, got you. And he created a little program called Ultron. I'm not too sure why.
Yeah.
Tony Stank.
And I was reading, I read the Washington Post. Was it Washington Post? Yeah, I think it was a Washington Post article, and they were talking, and he was the guy who wrote it. He actually was talking to this AI thing, and it essentially is like iMessage, where you type in a question or you ask him something.
It's like Ask Jeeves.
And then it would kind of formulate an answer for you. But it was pretty... I think the Google said that this is not AI in the sense that it's self-aware. It's just that it's using an architecture that makes it seem like it's
like it knows
real.
what it's talking about.
But my point, thinking is, where is like the public's... If the public got a hold of this and started talking to it, would it know the difference between, this is an architecture of sentences pulled from the internet and built, or this is a real I feel like the world that we live in, they'll probably think this is a real person that they're talking to.
Right. And
that's the scary part.
Right. And that's when we get like AI, like machine learning and things like that coming into play. And who knows where it's going to be. Like, if you were to tell me like 10 years ago, even with like where Siri was 10 years ago to now.
She's still pretty much where she was 10 years ago.
Yeah, she's not the brightest bulb or the brightest, I guess, circuits in the phone. But
she keeps breaking.
Yeah. But like at least the things that you could do now with like the smart technology and things like that, it's really freaky. Like when you like, we're so used to it now. We're all wearing Apple Watches right now.
Yeah.
That monitor things within our bodies. Like where's that going to be? You know, like we think of science fiction movies. We're not that far off from it. 100%. You know.
But as always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday, and watch out throughout the week for review episodes on the latest movies and series. Make sure to follow us at the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Join our Discord and write into the show at hello@themoviepodcast.ca. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is it's growing.
It's growing, yeah.
It's like a flower. It was like dead, and then now it's rising up.
It is. We've been getting some great views, some great comments. I mean, I think we always talk about how YouTube is such a different beast when it comes to, making our episodes and releasing them there. Some episodes will perform great. Other episodes will be like, is anybody... No one's on YouTube today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's such a weird world of YouTube. But, a lot of our interviews, they're video based. So you see a lot of our stuff, and we have quite a bit of stuff coming down the pipeline.
We do. We do have a lot. So we have one for sure that's coming out this week that we can't tell you who it is. All we could tell you is to stay tuned. No, we can't do that either.
It's an interview.
We can say it's an interview.
That's what I mean.
It's an interview.
Can we say if it's a male or female?
Or are they non-binary?
It's like what is it?
Guess who? So here's the thing. I was at Walmart this week, and I saw like a cheap version of Guess Who, and it was called
Guess Why?
It was called Who's That? I was just like, I was so upset.
God, what Walmart were you at?
Just a normal Walmart.
You walk outside, there's 2 L's in front of you.
Oh, it was Walmart.
Oh,
yeah. I was like, it's Guess Who? No, it's Who's That?
Who's that?
But yeah, this Thursday, the episode will drop at 12 a.m. Eastern time. You'll see who's going to be joining our
what is that
little
Pacific
show.
Though?
Sorry?
9 p.m. Pacific.
9 p.m. Pacific.
On the
12 a.m. specific.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't know. 12 a.m. Eastern time this Thursday. We'll have another special guest joining us.
Yes. Or 9 a.m. 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Not
on Wednesday.
I'm so confused. What time zone are we in now?
We're in Eastern.
But I want our
what time zone
Westerners.
are you?
I like to let our West Coast peeps also in on us.
Shay lives on West Coast time. Anthony lives a year in the future.
What about
Dana, where are you living?
I'm living in the moment, baby.
Oh, that's too much.
That's all about right now.
That's too much.
What about all the other time zones?
I don't really care about them that much.
Yeah,
Central,
Mountain Time, Central Time.
Get out of here.
You know,
Mountain Time is fake. First of all, that's
Mountain Time. The mountains. There's no such thing as mountains.
The worst though was in Nova Scotia, where it's just like 30 minutes that they're behind or whatever. And it's like, come on, guys, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
get your shit together.
Mountain Time.
Sorry,
you have beef with Nova Scotia.
I have a beef with their 30-minute rules. Like, what is 30 minutes are free? Like, what is this?
Mountain
I'm kidding. I love you all.
I always picture like you gotta go to a mountain. There's like this guy inside the mountain. He has a clock, and that's how he like determines the mountain.
That's why I don't like it, because it takes too long to find out what time it is. I have to go up to a mountain. That's too much.
That's too far.
But yeah, you can check out all that information in our show notes and all those links and more. We have a mailbag question.
Mailbag.
Is it Shay or Day? I
was gearing up to do it. Hold on. Go ahead.
Mailbag. What? I don't get. Every time you do it, you add an extra little
sound bite,
little sound, and then like you just drink a Pepsi or a Sprite.
What kind of mail is this?
Refreshing. It's a refreshing mail.
It's a refreshing mail. This mailbag question is in regards to Nope, and this is a spoiler warning because this question is a little bit of a spoiler for those who haven't watched Nope and are going to be watching Nope.
Watch out!
Because this will be a spoiler. This question is coming from, or not question, this letter is coming from Hutch. Hutch says, "Hey guys, love the episode of your Nope review. Specifically wanted to see what your take was on this, but in regards to what you guys said about the subplot feeling separate, Do you guys feel that Steven Yeun's character was supposed to learn his lesson on trying to tame a beast? It's just my initial opinion, but after him watching Gordy kill almost everyone, maybe his character was supposed to learn better than, for the lack of better term, trying to tame/train this unknown beast. Have a great day, Hutch.
That was a great. We got this email this week from Hutch, so thank you so much for that. Yeah. And I think it definitely gave me a different insight to the scene, and it definitely does connect. And I definitely see that, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I totally get that. And I think the Gordy scene for all three of us, we said that's one of the scariest scenes in the movie, but it definitely does. I think take the spotlight away from the main plot that was going on, even though it is connected. Still great scene, but I think it was just a little, a little felt still for me personally a little removed. Again, I love the scene though, just a little removed.
Yeah, it's I thought about this scene further, and I was talking to somebody else who had watched the movie, and pretty much we kind of came to a similar conclusion about this moment. We're like, yeah, I think this is kind of what it was representing. So yeah, Hutch, great eye as well. I think thank you for also sending this in. And we got to the same point, but we were still like, was it still necessary, or was there a better way to tell that story, or could you have just shown it a different way? Yeah. So that's kind of where we came to it. Still scary, but felt like it was a little too much taking it away.
It's interesting too with that scene, as scary as it is. I think with a lot of Nope is when we and I love Nope, and I've actually been thinking about it a lot more since we watched it, and I'm excited to watch it again. I like it more since when we first watched it. I'm curious to when the trailers were coming out, we're all just like, hey, what does this mean? What is this monkey paw? This woman in the crowd? There's a lot of things that were misdirection compared to what we got in the movie, and I like that. And I'm excited to go in with Hutch's insights next time I watch this movie. So looking forward to that. How about you, Anthony?
And there was a Hollywood Reporter article on Nope, the meaning behind Jordan Peele's most terrifying scene yet. So if you are interested to learn a little bit more and what it really what it represented to the director, I would say go ahead and read that.
Yeah, we can put in the show notes from Richard Newby, who's
exactly.
We could drop that.
For me personally, I'm in the same boat. I just felt like, yes, it was a scary scene, and it will be that scene where I will remember Nope the most about. In terms of that was pretty scary. That is a frightening idea to even come up with,
right?
And that's something that could have easily happened at any point in time. But I felt like I didn't see the connection right away until later, and I had to really think about it. But it still just was that part where it just took me out of the movie.
Right. It felt like something else.
It felt like this was just a really scary scene that just didn't, fit in with the whole other.
Also, I'm not too sure. I can't remember if it's in Richard's article, but there was also the mention of why didn't Gordy kill Steven Yeun's character as well? Yeah. Because we also see in the movie that he sees him through the tablecloth, which means they weren't having direct eye contact, just like in the aliens and Nope. If you don't look at them, they don't come for you.
Right. And also that Gordy believed that Steven Yeun's character, his character was an attraction, he was.
Right.
And that's why he kind of felt empathy. That's why he didn't kill him.
Right.
He was the star of that show as well as Gordy, and that they're
similar.
They're similar in a sense.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see all of the insights and the analysis essays and all that.
Yeah. She did ask me what would you do in a situation? Would you survive the Gordy? And
I asked right away. I'm like, would you have survived this chimpanzee attack?
I'm fighting the chimpanzee 100%. 100%.
If only he had a personal chef, I think you would have been able to do it, right?
I think
I don't need the personal chef, man. I just need, I just need something.
Like a gun, maybe.
These two fists that when
my paws put them together. Yeah. We asked Anthony one time. We're like, Anthony, what is stopping you from having a Marvel bod? And he's like, just a personal chef.
That's all it is, man. It's a personal chef. Man.
A personal chef is
imagine a chef cooking for you 24/7. Proper meals.
Okay.
That are always healthy.
Yeah.
That you don't have to, because a lot of times you're lazy and you don't want to cook anything. Right.
Eating healthy is expensive.
Yes, eating healthy is expensive. Also, it's the most important thing of any type of fitness.
Yeah.
You go on this fitness journey, you could run 100 miles. You'll never look like
Chris
Hemsworth. It's all about the food you put in your body as well.
100%.
So yeah, man, if you give me a personal chef, I got the rest. Is that right?
Yeah. It sounded like when you said it sounded like it rhymed. Like, is that a t-shirt?
You were confident about the rhyme, but I was like, no, none of that.
I'm
rhymes.
a rhyming guy today.
You're speaking in riddles today, which is going to be great when you're reading all the news.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to kick it to Daniel for some announcements.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the announcements show. We were off last week from our main episode, but we still had tons of episodes drop on the movie podcast feed. I want to give some episodes some love. We've had some really cool special guests join us. Most recently, we had Paul Walter Hauser, who's on Blackbird, which is an incredible Apple TV Plus show that you should definitely go check out. We also had Joseph Quinn on the movie podcast. You know him as Eddie Munson from Stranger Things Season 4. We talked all about the incident with Doja Cat. I'm kidding. We did not talk about that at all. But we did talk about Stranger Things Season 4 and a lot more. He's such a lovely, lovely gentleman, and we're so excited to see what he does next in the world of acting. If you want to catch up on what we believe to be some of the best movies of 2022 so far, you could do so, and you could catch our last main episode 143, where we talk all about the Batman, Top Gun, obviously. Elvis was before we saw Nope, but lots of great movies on there. Also, check out our Miss Marvel Season 1 finale spoiler cast, our review on The Gray Man, our review of Nope. We had Dean Fleischerkamp, who was the director and writer of Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, join us last week. We had a great conversation with him. And we also have a review out for Where the Crawdads Sing, or I think I called it Where the Crawdaddies Sing.
Yeah. We also have a nice little reel about our visit to the Friends experience.
We do, yeah. So Shay cut together a great reel that's on our socials now, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. Go check it out. You could see our coverage from the Friends experience, which is now open in Yorkdale. That's here in Toronto. You could go see what that's all about. I've been seeing a lot of my friends going too, which has been really nice to see. So
yeah, very cool.
Really, what a cool event. That was a lot of fun. And then this week we have a lot more coming. So we have, like I said, we have our special guest lined up for Thursday. We'll have a review out for DC Super Pets, DC League of Super Pets, which will be out on Tuesday. And then, lots more. So lots to look forward to. Yeah. August is going to be interesting.
Very, very interesting.
And then we lead into like September and
with TIFF and D23, and it's just, and then we just do it all again.
A lot of stuff.
How do you guys feel about not sleeping?
It's what it feels like every day for me. But yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Okay.
That's okay. Okay.
Are you guys ready to get into it?
Let's do it. I thought you were going to say news, but I'm glad we still did it anyway. We nailed it.
Oh, yeah, we knew.
The audience knows what we're going to get into.
That's true. We're going to get into some funny business now.
We got a shit ton of news.
Comic-Con, baby.
This is all Comic-Con, except one story, which is at the end. But the biggest Comic-Con 2022 news for movies and TV. And I'm going to go through a list of stuff, and then we're going to kind of end off in Marvel Studio Animation, and then we're going to kind of pass it on to other.
Yeah, we'll pass the torch along.
Big panel.
What did you guys think though of Comic-Con before we dive into it? Like of the announcements that we've got this year, just kind of overall, I guess, thoughts.
Me personally, it was unexpected.
Yeah,
for me, because I didn't expect Comic-Con to be this big
again
so quickly. But yeah, it was unexpected. I thought a lot of the new stuff that we did get, I think, was for me, John Wick 4 having a trailer and having that panel was unexpected.
Yeah,
that was nice to see. Marvel stuff, definitely. I want to know, like, maybe what do they have planned for D23?
We heard going into this that don't expect a lot from Comic-Con. Comic-Con is going to be a bit quieter. They're going to hold their announcements for D23.
Exactly.
And then Marvel heard that and they're like, yeah, well, and spin in our face. And was like, this is why we're the best right now.
And that could have been misdirection by Marvel as well. Because, they wanted to kind of...
We got a lot of that misdirection for this Comic-Con this year.
Yeah. Oh, and not even from Marvel, from a lot of the outlets who are kind of teasing it, right? Which we'll get into with the Warner Brothers.
Yeah, that's how I felt. What about you, Shay?
No, I thought it was cool. I mean, again, kind of similar to you guys. I didn't expect it to be this big and like them to come this hard right out the gate. So yeah, I'm glad to see it was a good time. Wish we were there, but maybe next year we will.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get through some of these Comic-Con news stories. We have Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves gets first trailer. Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power trailer, which is a 3-minute trailer.
Yeah.
That was a long trailer, but it showed a lot.
It did show a lot, yeah, compared to, and we just got another big trailer like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
So now we're getting another huge look. This show looks massive.
Prime is like preparing this show for an event of no other. Tales of the Walking Dead gets first trailer. The final season of Walking Dead gets a new trailer. Michonne and Rick are getting their own show. Keanu Reeves' Berserker headed to Netflix, so that's a live action and anime in development. The Sandman new trailer and John Wick 4 footage.
Yeah, we got Keanu Reeves and nunchucks.
He nunchucked that guy like 10 times.
Yeah.
Dude, that was unexpected. Like I said, that was probably something that surprised me because I didn't expect a trailer to be made and actually have a whole like, I don't know if the movie's done or what.
It's coming out in March, right?
Right.
I don't understand though. So like the official John Wick account, to my knowledge, has still not tweeted out this trailer. It was
like
some
Lionsgate.
But was it even Lionsgate that
That's all Lionsgate tweeted out.
Okay, because I was going to say the one that got all the viral views was some random Twitter account that posted it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, what? Where is this coming from? Like, why did this get like? And then obviously like it's been posted and stuff like that. But I hadn't seen it from the official John Wick account. It was only from some other random Twitter account that posted it. And I was like, is this real? I'm like, it is real. And it was a great trailer.
It was a really great trailer.
Yeah.
We got Donnie Yen. He seems to be the new villain as well as Skarsgård. Bill? Is it Bill?
Is it Bill Skarsgård?
The one who played it.
The John Wick account did tweet it.
What time though?
They tweeted it. What's the date today?
Today's the
They tweeted
24th.
it yesterday at 1 p.m.
But because it was Friday that the trailer dropped,
so they
right?
did it the day after.
The day after, I was like, why isn't this on the official account? I'm watching it off of some random user's account.
Yeah, it's Bill Skarsgård. So
Yeah,
he
Bill
seems
Skarsgård.
like the villain, but Donnie Yen's in it. And Donnie Yen is like in his 60s.
He looks great, man.
He's 59, and he's doing like what he's doing
Yeah.
in this trailer is fantastic.
It's like Tom Cruise, you said.
Exactly. And what I love about it...
Bill is Pennywise, right?
Correct.
Pennywise, yeah. What I loved about this trailer was it really showcased like this is going to take place in Europe. There's Paris. There's a fight in the middle of what's that big Paris roundabout?
The Arc de Triomphe?
Exactly. And they look like they're fighting with cars, and it looks fantastic. And I'm like, Keanu Reeves, how are you doing this?
Keep going.
How are you doing this?
Him and Tom Cruise and Donnie Yen need to be all in a movie together where they're just fighting and they're all just like bloody at the end of it. No one wants to die. No one wants to go down.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Anything from that list that I mentioned that kind of stood out to you? I know the Dungeons and Dragons was a big one.
Yeah,
People were super excited.
Yeah, I mean, we've had 2 Dungeons and Dragons movies in the past before, and they weren't great. This one at least looks more fun, and I have a lot of faith in the directors, same directors who did Game Night, and they wrote it as well too. I just hope that it's a good time because I also, from the look of this trailer, it kind of gives me like Jack and the Giant Slayer.
Homecoming, right?
Yeah, they're one of the like 6 writers on Homecoming, but it kind of gives me like Jack the Giant Slayer vibes. Do you remember that movie from like 20? Like when
Bryan Singer,
like when we got a bunch of like CG like mystical looking movies in the late 2010s,
right?
You know what I mean? It kind of like Wrath of the Titans and all of that stuff. Like
CG heavy.
Yeah, the CG heavy like look movies. I just hope it's good. I hope it's a good time. This one's coming out next year. Also, shout out to The Walking Dead. Still going strong after all of these years. I thought they were done too because I watched it. I've watched all the seasons of The Walking Dead, and then this season came out, and it's like the final episodes of The Walking Dead. I'm like, how? I thought I watched the ending of it, and I know COVID messed things up because they were released like 2 random episodes. I'm like, this is so I have to go back and be like, okay, where did I finish watching this? And then now Michonne and Rick. Andrew Lincoln and Denai Guerrera are coming back and doing their own spin-off, I guess, to wrap up the rest of their character arcs because Rick's been off for the last season. He was gone. So Walking Dead, I think, really, when we look at it, was a turning point for pop culture in terms of comic books and took over Comic-Con. Right, like
whenever I think of Comic-Con, I think of Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead owned the conversation for the last.
That was always the thing.
Yeah, and we, it's easy to poke fun at that show for how long it's been on. I think the first 4 to 5 seasons of that show are fantastic, especially the first. I think the first 2 seasons are my favorite, but that it's been on this long, it's had so many spin-offs now. It's pretty amazing, and congrats to the entire cast, because it's not easy to do that, and obviously they'll still here doing it. So
True.
And also like Keanu Reeves doing Berserker, which is his own comic book.
Great. I love Berserker. It's great.
And it's very, action heavy.
Yeah.
And it's anime based in a sense. But yeah, that's that we knew that he was going to do this, and now it's coming to fruition. So it's nice to see that Netflix is driving this home.
Right. Yeah. So the anime, I think, is going to be a sequel to the comic.
Right.
And then the live action movie is going to be an adaptation of the first 12 issues of Berserker, which is a really great read if you guys looking for something. It's really
I was
good.
looking to read it, but then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
But now
Really, really good.
new Sandman trailer. I know Sandman.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a huge event for Netflix, but again, Netflix, how they do things, they don't really showcase.
Yeah.
But Sandman, this is the first time we're going to be seeing the Sandman on screen. And I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Because his character is so well known. He has like a cult following to him. And I remember growing up buying like those DC Absolutes. You ever see them? They're the huge DC books.
Like the omnibuses?
The omnibuses, and they're like, 16 inches by whatever.
Yeah. So uncomfortable to read.
So uncomfortable to read, but nice to have. And I always remember the Sandman being that story that was part of the omnibus. I'm like, that's such a strange character to have. Like, usually you would put these stories that change comic books.
Right.
Like, for instance, The Watchmen or The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Or what was the other one? One from Alex Ross.
Kingdom Come?
Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
But then Sandman was like maybe the second or third story, and I never really got into it. And then a couple of years later, I bought like the first volume or second volume. And man, like it was something that I did not expect from DC Vertigo, and just the idea of the Sandman and the biblicalness of it. And I'm just happy that we got this trailer. People can like it. And
well, they could like it, they could enjoy it, and then they could listen to a review of it on August 5th at 3 a.m. Eastern Time.
No way.
12:01 Pacific Standard Time.
Bum, bum, bum.
Wait.
Shock
301
drop.
Pacific?
3:01 Eastern.
Yeah.
12:01 Pacific.
Wait, the one? Is the one again?
It's the one again.
So
It's always the
one
one.
of these ones.
It's always the one.
But
Gotta wake up to put that live manually at 3:01.
Sandman.
Yeah. Sandman. Stay tuned for more Sandman.
Okay, let's get into the bigger part of our discussion. Marvel Studios animated panel.
So this is the first panel they've ever done for the animation team, which is pretty cool.
Which makes sense because, this is Comic-Con. They are based in a comic world, and, these are animated, so they relate to this world. So it's nice that they decided to do a panel this year. Not like some other people that should have done panels.
Or shown some more panels. I don't know about that.
But we got four animated panels. We had Spider-Man freshman year, which is based on it's an animated series that follows Peter Parker on his way to becoming Spider-Man in the MCU. A journey unlike we've ever seen, and a style that celebrates the character's early comic book roots. Spider-Man freshman year comes exclusively to Disney Plus in 2024. A second season was also announced, aptly titled Spider-Man sophomore year.
I love the animation style for this. Like, this looks straight out of like a 1960s Spider-Man comic book.
Yeah, it's that Steve Ditko look.
Yeah. But it's so cool. And then when you see, it looks like it's this, obviously it's within the MCU, but within the MCU also means within the multiverse of the MCU at this point. Right. So you see, we saw like a thumbnail image that they dropped where it's like Peter and Aunt May sitting on the couch, and instead of Tony Stark, which is the exact scene from Civil War, it's Norman Osborn. Right. So it's like, it looks like Norman Osborn is going to be taking on that mentor role in this, and I think that's a great way to introduce a lot of these different villains that we haven't gone to see in the mainline MCU, but you get to have a lot of fun with them now with Spider-Man in this show, which looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shay.
No, I was just saying that the clothes they're wearing as well kind of are a sign of a different era as well.
Yeah.
Now, again, it is in a different multiverse, so it could be the same year or whatever. Or, again, man, that's so complicated going deep down that rabbit hole of what year it is. But yeah, the style is very reminiscent of that 60s and 50s Spider-Man.
What I love so much about this too is that, this also isn't holding, what if it's its own animation style, and this is its own animation style.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Marvel's just like in the movies, we could have different genres of movies. This is more of a comedy, this is more of a thriller, whatever. On the animation side, we could also be different and we could diversify, so not everything's feeling the samey.
And we're not getting Tom Holland back as the voice, so
no,
but we are getting Charlie Cox, who's gonna be playing Daredevil.
Is that who he plays? Daredevil?
Yeah,
interesting choice.
Daredevil.
Why not Ben Affleck?
He was busy. He's getting married.
He was getting married. That's some other news we didn't mention. J-Lo and Ben Affleck got married.
They also announced that at this panel last night.
It was weird. They're like, before we start, we want to give a special shout out to Ben and Jen.
Yeah, that's more like of a what if. This is like 10 years ago. It's like, what if Ben and J-Lo got married?
Yeah. Dude, that is a what if story.
That is a what if story.
Because it was like 20-something years ago that they separated, and to think that they got married after that, that's crazy.
How did you feel?
Is a what if.
You probably felt great, though, eh?
It was I felt great.
I think it was at the wedding.
I was at the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was the ring boy.
The ring boy. You were a ring man?
The ring man. No, I was a boy.
Ring man's taken.
Okay. But yeah, it looks really cool. I just looking forward to seeing this trailer. I just want to see it. I want to see it in movement.
See it in action.
It feels like it's cell shaded in a way. It also feels like Enter the Spider-Verse in a way. So there's like these two ties, but it also has a 60s vibe to it.
That 60s just like gee Willikers look to it.
Yes. Peter Parker has glasses. We haven't seen him in glasses for a very long time.
It reminds me a lot of like the old Archie style comics.
It does. Yes.
Yeah. There's like almost like a pulp to it.
Yeah.
We got What If Season 2, which continues the journey with the Watcher as our guide through the vast multiverse, introducing brand new and familiar faces throughout the MCU. The animated series questions, revisits, and twists classic Marvel cinematic moments with an incredible voice cast that includes a host of stars who reprise their iconic roles. Season 2 of What If launches exclusively on Disney Plus in early 2023. So we know that they were working on What If Season 2. Mm-hmm. What we didn't know is they're already working on Season 3 and probably Season 4. But I love the What If animated series because it just gave you that idea of the multiverse being part of the MCU,
right? And
not having to see that in a movie. We can actually tell these stories that lead into movies or are part of the movie world. But are super interesting, and add these characters that you didn't expect to have, and Peggy Carter being one of them. She being that Captain America. Mm-hmm. We saw a live action version.
We
of her.
did see a live action variant of that,
and
right?
We're going to see her back in a What If Season 2 episode too, which is cool.
When they dropped that, they dropped a picture of some of the cast. You're seeing already Iman Vellani's Miss Marvel. You're seeing Shang-Chi up there. You're seeing Kate Bishop. You're seeing Yelena. You're seeing all the big players that were introduced already in Phase 4 of the MCU. Elizabeth Olsen. And you're seeing them damn, we're going to get to see Shang-Chi in a different environment. We're going to maybe get to see Shang-Chi interact with Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop and have a story of that and have these characters out there. And who knows now, with Marvel being so open to including mutants and things now, maybe we'll see the X-Men show up in What If. Maybe we'll see the Fantastic Four show up in What If. These characters can now show up now that they're getting their live action debut. I think Marvel's a lot more open to having them in the animated form too now, right?
Yeah.
Really cool. And then hopefully Daredevil as well, because I think Daredevil is going to be a big character for Marvel moving forward, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, with all the news of Daredevil, which we will talk about, I'm wondering, did they have this down the pipeline, or was this something that was spawned out of the reaction of his character in No Way Home?
I think him showing up in No Way Home, they knew they were going to do this show. They knew they were going to do the Daredevil show. They knew he was going to show up in freshman year. And I think including him in No Way Home was just we have Daredevil back. Stay tuned for
Daredevil's
more.
in pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Right now. He's even in She-Hulk.
Yeah. What? Okay.
Sure.
They're both lawyers. Sure. Let's do it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Marvel Zombies, the animated series from Marvel Studios, reimagines the Marvel Universe as a new generation of heroes battle against the ever-spreading zombie scourge. Marvel Zombies will stream exclusively on Disney Plus and has a mature rating.
Hell yeah.
Ooh,
so
dangerous.
This is Disney.
A lot of nudity. Nudity, I think is what they were saying.
Nude zombies?
Not a nude, sexy zombies.
This is Marvel Studios' first mature rated content that they've actually produced.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because we did not expect Marvel Zombies to be, that story.
Right.
That they were going to go down that route, but makes sense.
Yeah.
They're zombies. They got to eat flesh.
Yeah. You want to show
brains.
blood. You want to show gore. And, we got a taste of the Marvel Zombies in the What If series. And it was pretty gruesome, that episode. And now with that mature rating, I think they're just going to be like, let's just go for it. And again, Marvel and Disney, like, we're seeing mature content now that it's happening in the States. Because, we were joking, the three of us this week. We've had Logan and Deadpool on Disney Plus for over a year at this point, right? A long time. But it's like, once it happens in the States, then it's official. That's when it matters. Yeah. Right? And it's like, this is great news. Like, you need to, if you want to be able to have a vast offering of shows and movies, you got to be able to touch different genres, and you got to be able to touch different age ratings as well too. Marvel Zombies won't be a show for younger audiences, but there will be a show that older audiences could get into, like Invincible. Right? So like that's what you want to kind of tackle. You want to be able to have something for everyone, and this helps with that for sure.
But I'm 100% sure like a lot of kids are going to watch this
definitely they
because
are.
It's just that's going to be their tying point of like their maturity kind of changing.
Sure.
I know there was a bunch of like parental boards complaining about Disney's decision to make Logan and Deadpool available, and they're like, no, they stood for so much for family related content, and here they are, they're throwing it all out the window. But like you have the access as a parent.
Yeah, it's
to
parents'
control your kids.
Wait,
your kids viewing.
You're saying they have to parent their kids?
100%.
Get out of here.
That's
That's Disney's job. That's
not Mickey
Disney's
Mouse's
job. Disney's supposed to parent my children.
No.
I shouldn't have to tell them a single thing. That's my
Karen.
American upset lady.
I like it.
Was it good?
It was very good.
What should we call her? Karen? That sounds a little too on the nose now.
Yeah.
Sharon. No, I'm just kidding. Sharon Carter. No, it's good.
But cool. And then we heard too that Simu Liu and among others are going to be showing up in this as well. I'm curious if it's going to keep the same look as What If, or they're going to go for something different. We'll
see.
Is there any, before we talk about the last one, I would love to see a Marvel 1602 show.
Oh, like medieval,
like the medieval version of it, because it's Neil Gaiman as well too, who obviously did Sandman. But I loved reading those books growing up, just because it was such a weird version of these characters. From the 1600s. It's so cool. But I mean, nothing would surprise me, because I always think of Marvel Zombies and 1602 in the same kind of way, because they were just such different things of and What If, like those were like the different series that I would always see like collected editions for growing up. We were like, oh, read Zombies, read What If, read 1602.
No, 1602 was a great story. It was Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four and a lot of others. But it was taking place in that time period where superheroes didn't exist, and there is a lot of pillaging and
and just the technology of that time,
exist, right? So but it's like, how do they exist as these characters? Yeah,
and it's funny because I remember, like just this weekend, sorry, not that I remember because it was just this weekend, Neil Gaiman was like, obviously on the Sandman panel, somebody asked him like, would you ever do like a new Marvel like 1602 like series? And he said the old leadership at Marvel, so I'm assuming Ike Permuter or whatever from years ago, turned him down. He's like, I haven't spoken like to the new people who are like running the show there. So maybe we'll see a 1602 one day.
Yeah, maybe. Last animated story, X-Men 97. This has been, rumored and talked about for a very long time, and we kind of got some stuff last year, and now we have an idea of when this is coming out. So X-Men 97 is an animated series from Marvel Studios that explores new stories in the iconic 90s timeline of the original series. The series will begin streaming exclusively on Disney Plus fall of 2023. So this is in relation to the original X-Men that aired on Fox. Mm-hmm. This is because that ended in 96 or 95, 96. Mm-hmm. And now it continues that path. That's why they call it X-Men 97.
Had a rough last two seasons of that show, though.
Exactly.
Yeah. The animation was the thing outsourced at that point, and it looked kind of rough.
Did it end on the cliffhanger as well, too?
I believe it did, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember how it ended now, but...
I was just rewatching all the episodes not long ago, but right when I got to those last two seasons, I was like, this is hard to watch now.
Right.
You notice that a lot with shows of that era, where it's just like a lot of shows at that time. They would do animated shows specifically would do 3 seasons so they could air it every single quarter, right, of the year for one episode a week or whatever. And it's just like they didn't think of shows then like the way we think of things now, interconnecting and having this. So I'm so curious to think what the original writers and creators of the show in the 90s are like. Oh wow, they're picking up back where we left off. That's so cool. And we've heard now. Again, spoilers if you haven't seen Doctor Strange or if you haven't watched Miss Marvel, we've heard the X-Men 90s theme song twice now in the MCU in live action. Yeah. So it's cool that they are really bringing back this theme song. This has to be the theme song whenever we get an X-Men movie eventually, right?
And I think this story that they're going to be taking, that these characters are going to be taking place, are going to be, extended into the cinematic world as well. Because, when X-Men 97 was announced with What If and all that, we really didn't know what to expect.
Right.
Even like Freshman was announced so long ago. We were worried, like, was it ever going to come out? Was it going to be canceled? And now that we know that the What If actually really ties into the cinematic world and all the other Disney Plus stories that we have access to in the past 2 years have tied in. This is going to be a huge event for X-Men fans.
Right.
Because this is going to somehow tie into that X-Men world that Kevin Feige's building.
Right. And I think too, we're also getting now animated series that are under the banner of Marvel Studios, because we know the quality of the Marvel movies has gotten better, and the consistency, the storytelling, the actors, the characters have been strong under Marvel Studios. And now that animation is also under Marvel Studios banner, that is only a good thing, because we've gotten great Spider-Man shows. I think of Spectacular Spider-Man. I think of just X-Men. Wolverine and the X-Men was another great show that, again, they got canceled because there were different networks and things like that. We've had a lot of great animated shows that, because they're owned by other studios, they're not giving it the treatment, because I think in the back of their minds, they're just like, why are we going to continue this when it's not making us any money, because it's another studio that actually owns the rights to this character.
Right.
Now it's like we're getting these proper animated shows that are getting the attention they deserve. They don't have to be 22 to 24 episode long seasons. They could do 8 episodes. They could do 12 episodes, do a really good job of it, and not have to worry about having a long running show and having filler episodes and all that, right?
It's interesting you talk about, and this is a little off topic but not off topic, when you talked about shows now with longer episodes. Just recently, we found out that Abbott Elementary is coming back for its 2nd season, and it's getting a very rare 22 episode run.
That's a traditional network.
I haven't seen that. I can't remember the last time I saw that.
I think like the last shows that I feel like did that were like sitcoms, or like Big Bang Theory, Modern Family even did that, but like it's rare to see that.
But even at the end of their seasons, like Modern Family, I think started to dwindle off in a couple episodes as well. Like I think they did like 18 and they went down a little bit more. So it's interesting to see a show come back that also, really took off on the streaming platform of Disney Plus with a 22 episode series. I hope it doesn't affect the quality of the show. I think it'll still be great. Season 1 is phenomenal. And then we're hearing things like Daredevil Born Again with 18 episodes.
Yeah, which is such a specific number.
Very specific number. Yeah. So it's I'm curious, are we going back to the way, which, I mean, I don't think we need to. I think the episode structure that we've been kind of doing so far has been super great. So I'm curious where things are going to be.
Yeah, no, I do think for animated you could get away with a little bit more, because you're relying on really great animation and you could really dive into it. But with live action stuff, I really like a 10 episode arc or like a 6 episode arc. It just works well. It just helps with the pacing.
Yeah. You're giving your writers, give me your 12 best episodes of a show instead of trying to make 24 episodes work, right?
Do we know if the original cast for the X-Men from the 90s are coming back to play their characters again? I'm not too sure. Like I would feel like Marvel would do that, but I'm not too sure.
I feel like I read somewhere that they are.
Yeah.
But I can't confirm.
Okay. Confirm. We know that it's going to have a similar art style to it. It will be some sort of, again, computer generated CG with it, so it's not just going to be 2D animation. It's going to be a combination, very similar to Spider-Man, the freshman year. But yeah, that concludes our Marvel Studio Animated panel.
What a first panel for them. Good for them.
Yeah, no, and it's the only one who came out with their own animated stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
Not like the next group of people. I'm going to kick it to Mr. Shea, who we're going to talk about Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. That's not their song.
Like, give me the beat, boy,
free my soul. Are we going to get sued?
No, we could use that. Okay, it was less than 7 seconds.
7 seconds, perfect. So Warner Brothers came out and they showed us things that we have seen before. So they came out and said, hey, we're doing Shazam and we're doing Black Adam. We're not doing them together, though.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. Thank you for coming.
It was interesting because this was the one that everyone kept hearing about. I know our friend here, Daniel.
Oh, my gosh. Daniel.
Daniel.
He had a T-shirt made. He had a flag.
He had face paint on, and I'm like, Daniel, Superman's white. You don't have to do face paint. Like what? But he had a little curl. I noticed that when I came over to his house, he had a little curl. He's like, oh, this thing? Oh, oops. I don't know what this happened.
I've always had this.
And, we kept hearing that Henry Cavill is going to show up, and he's going to change the hierarchy of the DC universe. Oh, no, that's The Rock.
That's The Rock.
But Henry Cavill is going to come back, and he's going to talk about being Superman for the next 40 years or whatever.
Which we knew from that rumor that came out. Yeah, he's going to talk about the future of Superman. I'm like, really?
Now there's
now there's a future to Superman.
Yeah.
In this world?
But Daniel was hyped. He was ready.
I was hoping.
Of course. I think it was Reddit. Or I don't know, somewhere. I was Reddit or Twitter, and they had like a picture of Henry Cavill. It's like, look at Henry Cavill's hair. His head's the curl. It's getting ready to. He's getting ready to show up at the event. And I'm like, this guy's just got out of a workout.
His hair's just curly.
He's like, I have never read a Superman script in years. Anyways,
and you know what's funny though? His hair didn't even have the curl in the movies. So what are you guys talking about?
It didn't have the curl.
He didn't have the curl.
He had curls.
I didn't like his slick back look.
He had curls though, but it was not like the curl.
No, he didn't have the curl. I didn't like Superman's hair in the movies.
It's okay. I mean, maybe that's why he's not coming back. But
no girl, I'm out.
But we got to look at Shazam, the sequel to Shazam, Fury of Gods. We had
Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, Fury of the Gods. We had Helen Mirren come out. Helen Mirren did not come out. Sorry, we had Lucy Liu come out. Yeah. But we had Helen Mirren and Rachel Zegler join via Zoom, I guess, what they used. But Zoom, they joined and kind of talked about it. And Helen Mirren said something about like this movie's about pussy power, and that's it got a laugh out of everybody.
Yeah. And she's like, she had a great time kicking Sean Levy's ass. Zach Levy's ass.
Sean Levy is the director for Stranger Things. Why was he? She just went around trying to beating him. Yeah, so that was good.
I hate a big fat liar.
Good cut. Again, yes. It looks more like Shazam, the first one, which we had a good time with. We enjoyed the first film.
Yeah.
But it's funny how quickly this panel was overshadowed by the next one. But as I'm going to keep going through this, we had The Rock show up in the most Rock fashion ever.
The most electrifying.
Yeah. Pounding back two Zoas as he descended upon us.
What's the most electrifying athlete in sports entertainment? He literally came out electrifying.
Yeah, he came out like he descending from the sky, or was he ascending?
No, he was ascending.
Was he ascending? Sorry, he ascended.
He had full costume.
Costume.
So
on.
He did descend because it was full blackout in there.
Okay.
He rose and then he kind of.
I saw a couple different videos and they were all like different angles.
Yeah.
So he came out. Lightning was going on. People in the crowd had badges that were shining with a lightning bolt as well.
That just happens wherever Dwayne Johnson goes.
That's very true. He showed off a little 1-minute teaser to Black Adam, more about the movie, talked about it. They answered a lot of questions about would you fight Superman, and they skirted around that subject matter. We also got news that Viola Davis is coming back to the DCU as Amanda Waller in Black Adam. I'm sure a very small role, but no Henry Cavill, nothing. No Cavill at all.
No Calaveri.
No.
So here's the thing with this. The thing that bothers me about the Henry Cavill rumor is that the same outlets that started feeding the frenzy were like, Henry Cavill is going to show up. Next article, Henry Cavill doesn't show up. Next article, fans upset Henry Cavill doesn't show up. I'm like, you're feeding this. You created this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, even like, I think it was Deadline that first posted that
Henry Cavill
was going to show up. And I remember Frosty, Collider Frosty was just like, yeah, he's shooting The Witcher right now in the UK. Like, I don't think he's going to show up. He's not going to show up. And he didn't show up.
At most, if you were to show up, it would be via Zoom. But could you imagine how anticlimactic that would have been?
But I think back to one of the best Comic-Con panels that we've seen that was super hype was that 2013 panel. After Man of Steel came out, Man of Steel didn't light the world on fire, but it was still a solid enough base hit for I think general audiences were like, I want more of the Superman.
Yeah.
We really love Man of Steel.
Yeah.
But when then you have Zack Snyder, that's when Zack Snyder was going to be the leader of the DCU at this point, and he comes out and he invites up the actor Henry Wernick?
Yeah, I'll look it
You're
up.
gonna look it up. He invites him up to read a line from the Dark Knight Returns, and then they announce Batman vs Superman. And I missed that hype. I missed that hype announcement.
That was great.
Was it Harry Winnick?
Sorry, I'm still loading.
Okay,
still loading. I apologize.
But you think when it comes
Harry
to
Lennox,
when it comes to panels and Comic-Con, regardless if you're giving a keynote speech somewhere, you need to add one more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. They did it. Marvel did it, which we'll talk about. But it's like, you knew going into this, people are waiting to see the future. You have Aquaman and Flash not here at all. You have other things.
For good
the Batman
reasons.
2, the Batman 2 announced. It would have been cool to maybe get either, I don't know if it's even written yet, but at least a title, a subtitle, some type of update. Give us something on the shows. The Harley Quinn show, like, just give us Joker 2 being officially announced. Give us a little something. And they just left like, okay, here's what you could watch in 5 months from now. We'll see ya. And it just kind of left like there's what's there to be excited about right now in the DC front.
It gave me the same vibes as when we watched the last Xbox conference, where it was like, this is all the stuff that's coming out in a year. And we were like, oh, okay, well, this kind of stuff we knew or we didn't really care about.
Yeah.
So it left like a very I don't want to say sour taste, but it was a little sour.
But you forgot it happened
Yeah.
immediately, because a few hours later, Marvel came and just rained hellfire on everybody on the internet.
And they didn't even need to.
Yeah.
Well, unless they have something planned, which I don't know and I can't speak of, but I'm just saying maybe they have something planned that they don't want to reveal.
Yeah, like another DC fandom.
DC fandom for sure is going to be probably where they pop off. But again, you kind of should do something.
You got to bring some type of heat to Comic-Con, right? You need something to get the people going, as they say, right?
What we did find out though is Zack Snyder is coming back
To the DC universe.
in Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, as a voice.
As a voice.
I don't know why.
So, I mean, I'm sure all the Snyder fans went super hard when we saw that trailer for Shazam, and it was all intercut with the old footage of the movie. But, I mean, Jim Lee pretty much said it. Like, there's no plans to kind of go back. And he said that, I think, the day before yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
and I love people who are just like, I don't know who Jim Lee is. I don't like. We don't like Jim Lee. Well, who is he? And you're like, Jim Lee is like one of the most important.
They sound like
comic book-
terrorists at this point.
Yeah.
Just like it's ridiculous.
Yes.
There's no more. It's done.
Yeah.
Zach doesn't want to come back.
Yeah.
Ben doesn't want to
I
come
will
back.
never ever watch a Zack Snyder or DC Snyderverse story ever again.
I don't think anyone is now.
Well, I mean, like, just but it can't. Yeah.
Like, even Aquaman, I don't know. I'm like,
We're going to watch it.
I know
to
we-
review it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm in a.
You don't have to be part of the
There's
review.
such a bad taste
Yeah.
in my mouth
Right.
with this whole scenario. I don't want to watch
It's weird.
it.
And here's the thing too. Warner Brothers was in a lose-lose situation, because if they showed Flash yesterday, would people have been like, why are you promoting
This piece of shit.
this movie with Ezra Miller?
Yeah.
They showed Aquaman. Why are you giving thing to a movie that Amber Heard is like?
Yeah.
I feel bad for Warner Brothers at this
do.
point too, because there's stuff that they are fully in control of when they can make things happen, yes. But when it comes to like, they were trying to make the things that worked in the universe happen and work, and now even that's not something. And even the next Wonder Woman, it's like people are like, oh, Gal Gadot, you know,
Gal Gadot. Ooh. Yeah. Is she gonna sing Imagine in the next one? Who knows?
you
We don't
know,
know.
like-
I wonder now if they're just gonna promote the Flash movie as like a Batman film, like, you know, like really drive home Michael Keaton as a selling point and just shove Ezra Miller as low to the ground in marketing as possible.
Listen, I don't-
just show fast zooming speed things going around. That's it.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Batgirl got delayed out of this year, and I honestly think it's because it was supposed to, I think, happen after the Flash, and I think Warner Brothers is really evaluating, should we make this a theatrical release? I think there's a possibility that Batgirl becomes a theatrical release, and maybe the Flash, they're going to figure something else to do with the Flash, because I don't know how you could release that movie right now and do any type of promotion or press for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's wild.
One cool thing that came out I guess the day before with Jim Lee was Paul Dano's going to be writing a regular year one comic, which is really cool. It's like he's really invested in the characters, so it's cool that he's going to be able to write it.
Yeah.
Are you going to be helping out with any of the story points because you're signing up the Riddler today?
No,
you should. You should help out. You should be like, I have some great ideas.
Well, we knew that was happening, but we got to see actual panels from the book and everything.
Right. But I mean, like, to actually have him there with Jim Lee and just talk about it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I can't wait for it. It's going to be 6 issues. I'm waiting. I think I'm just going to wait for the collected edition to come out to pick that up because, I'm excited. That's awesome. But technically, and this is what's so strange when it comes to Warner Brothers. This is what I want to bring up to you guys. The Sandman is a Warner Brothers character.
Yeah,
it is a DC character, but it's on Netflix. And we have, the Green Lantern movies coming out this week, the animated film Beware My Power, but it's a direct-to-home release. So I'm just curious. I'm surprised that Discovery, or maybe this is what they're planning, when Disney Plus came around, they really reshuffled Marvel and their studios to be like theatrical and streaming. And Warner Brothers is still the one that it's like, okay, we have theatrical, we have HBO Max, we own HBO, we have things being released directly to home release. We have deals that we make with other networks and other studios to develop our stuff. I just feel like everything's so scattered with Warner Brothers, where The Sandman looks like it's going to be an incredible show, but Warner Brothers isn't having it on their platform. It's just so strange. And The Sandman could have easily tied to the rest of the DC universe, but it's not. Because it's its own thing, you know what I mean? Even though he's a DC character, and there's characters in Sandman like John Constantine who's could show up and who's a character in the DC world, right? So
or Swamp Thing
right? So it's like it's just so interesting that we can now have DC characters showing up on Netflix, but it's not tied to anything else.
I suspect these are the things that were planned before even HBO Max came around. I feel like that's the only reasoning behind it. And now that Discovery, Warner Brothers and Discovery have merged, and Discovery is now kind of like taking charge, and you can clearly see they're
cleaning house.
They made changes already, so it seems like that's the route they want to go. It would be the smarter route, just to make everything in under one banner and not have to worry about why. You have to own Netflix and HBO Max to get DC content. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's just interesting. And then I feel too like with their animated movies, that would make great movies and a great reason to subscribe to HBO Max to have 100%. All of these original movies. That is also something that you put on your platform to fill in spots, right? Because these DC animated films have been consistent since 2007.
Yeah.
I used to buy all of them.
Yeah, same.
Started with Superman Doomsday, from there, and like Batman Superman Public Enemies,
Wonder Woman Paradox,
Flash One Paradox, all of these movies, like they're being released at home. I get they probably make more money off of it that way, but more people would watch it if it's on their platform.
There's no excuse for the animated part because that's something they own. Why would you do such a, why would you make it a home release when you can put it on your streaming service?
And that
doesn't make sense.
And they have animated shows in development. We know the Batman show, there's the animated show with Bruce Timm and Matt Reeves being in development.
Right.
Harley Quinn was technically a DC Universe show. Same with Young Justice. So again, it's all like these weird platforms that they had that I think it's going to be a couple years before they really start to consolidate and put everything on a proper path,
Yeah. Well, enough about DC.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Marvel Studios panel. I'm going to have Daniel take over.
So this panel starts and we get a kind of a look out of what the rest of Phase 4 is going to look like. We know what Phase 4 is, and we know that it's going to end. That was confirmed. It's going to end with Wakanda Forever. And I think, that trailer did close out their show. But I think we have to talk about that trailer right now because I think out of all the Marvel trailers that we've gotten in the last few years, this is without a doubt one of the most powerful, one of the best looking, and one of the most just awe-inducing trailers for me. I was just blown away, and this is from someone who loved the first Black Panther movie, but I was in a weird conflicted place of being excited for a second movie because obviously we lost Chadwick. This trailer is both like such a love and celebration of Chadwick and also a continuing of that universe. What did you guys think of the trailer?
This is not only one of the best Marvel trailers, but it's one of the best trailers in a very, very long time. Like it was phenomenal. The art style, the emotions that this trailer evoked. Like Angela Bassett's speech in the middle of that trailer was so powerful. That's the part that I kind of kept rewinding and watching again, because she's giving it her all in that moment, and I might be a wreck during that actual scene when I watch it. But this movie looks beautiful. The visuals are stunning. It really feels like Coogler took everything that he learned from making the first movie and then all his other projects and then just amped it up.
Right.
He's coming full swing with this one, and it looks phenomenal. I think this is going to be an amazing movie.
It's interesting, again, like this movie's coming out this year. It has a very like it kind of gave me Avatar vibes as well too, because a lot of like the presence of the underwater world and things like that. That transition from Bob Marley's like No Woman No Cry into All Right by Kendrick Lamar was such like a perfect just transition and hype. So this trailer was so hype and exciting, but also so emotional, because we did get to see a mural of Chadwick. So clearly they are taking it as T'Challa has passed away, and we learned that from the synopsis as well. Anthony, what were your reactions to that and the trailer?
The trailer was really well done. I think for me, it was the emotional reaction. I think that's what really kind of took over when I saw the trailer. It's just, this was a story that Chadwick was supposed to be in, and it's very emotional. Like he passed away so young, and he was the Black Panther, and they're continuing a story without him. And you can see it in the characters that are represented in this film that actually it's affected them as well. Right. And you can see that they want to honor Chadwick and deliver great performances for this movie and honor him that way. So it was a really an emotional reaction for me to watch it. And I don't know, again, we don't know much about the story, who the Black Panther is. Is it Letitia? Is it Lupita? Who knows? We don't know. We know it's a female. Because the costume looks...
And that poster we got as well, too.
But yeah, man, it looks pretty cool. We have Namor. Yeah. I don't know about Namor. Like, when I picture Namor, I don't know if I pictured that Namor as like this Aztec type of character. Right. But yeah, we get Namor in this, which is... It's fitting, just because of the storylines in the comic books with
the first mutant, technically, right?
Exactly, and Wakanda and Namor together.
Atlantis and Wakanda, which we're getting these nations war, now,
right?
It looks like he's going to flood Wakanda as well, too, right? At some point, which he did in Avengers versus X-Men, I think. Yeah. Cool.
But like just the dance choreography in the beginning really kind of like connected with me. And you're right, the Bob Marley and Kendrick Lamar, that mashup just fit for this trailer. It was really well done.
Beautiful work. So we learned that Phase 5 is kicking off in 2023, and the first film in that phase is going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So there was a look. We didn't get the trailer for this yet. It's coming out in February.
They did a sizzle reel.
So apparently there was a look at MODOK in the trailer. We got Cassie Lang in the suit, and obviously Kang is going to be one of his variants. They did dub Phase 4, 5, and 6 the Multiverse Saga. So I think things are going to get even crazier for the next couple movies, next couple years with the multiverse. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So we saw a teaser. Maria Bakalova is Cosmo, the dog, which is perfect because she has obviously the perfect like accent for as Cosmo, but also just she was so great in Borat. And I think she kind of stole our hearts in that movie as well, too. So it's so amazing to see her like go on the big screen. Like this is going to be huge for her. And Chukwudi Iwuji is going to be the High Evolutionary, who we last saw him in Peacemaker, who he was fantastic in that show. So now we get to see him now in the Guardians universe, and he came out in costume as well too, which was really funny. We got updates on what shows we can look forward to next year, the live action shows. So obviously Echo, which is shooting now, season 2 of Loki, and Agatha: Coven of Chaos, which was called House of Harkness before.
Yeah.
So it got a new name to Agatha: Coven of Chaos. So that's all going to be on Disney Plus next year's shows. And then the theatrical releases for Phase 5 include The Marvels, which we know about, Captain America: New World Order, which is now we don't have to call it Captain America 4 anymore. It's Captain America: New World Order, which is funny because that's the name of the episode as well for the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So they're using that name. It was right under our noses this whole time. And then we're going to get a Thunderbolts movie, which is going to be releasing in 2024, November 2024.
Yeah.
Which amazing. I'm like, who's going to be on this team? Like, who's going to be on the Thunderbolts team? The synopsis says it's going to be new characters. We'll probably see like John Walker. We'll probably see Elena. We'll probably see a lot of characters that we've already been introduced to, and then who knows where it's going to go from here. Are we going to get a Red Hulk though?
Well, he passed away, right? Like,
Yeah.
What was his name? What the actor played?
William.
Oh my God.
William Hurt.
William Hurt.
Yeah, he passed away. So I was wondering, like, is he, because he is, Thunderbolts is Thunderbolt Ross, and
named after him.
So are they gonna kind of do a homage to him, and is he gonna be dead in this world? Is he not, or I don't know. But that'd be cool, Red Hulk.
Well, at least we know Julia Louis-Dreyfus is going to be most likely leading this team as well, too. And then big news, which we were talking a little bit earlier, Daredevil, Born Again, which is also based on a comic book series. An 18-episode season with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio returning, and it's going to be streaming on Disney Plus spring of 2024. Daredevil is back. Shay, how are you feeling about this?
Look, I absolutely loved the Marvel Daredevil series that we got on Netflix. Except for the second season, I think was a little rough.
Second season had its ups and
Third
downs.
season, I started watching and it was okay.
Yeah,
but this still Charlie Cox as Daredevil, as Matt Murdock is just brilliant casting. He's so good in it, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin is phenomenal too. I hope we get the other cast back, Deborah Ann Wolfe and the guy from
Mighty Ducks,
whose Foggy Nelson, but I can't remember his name now, and I'm so sorry. That's not right of me. We'll get the name soon. But yes, phenomenal. 18 episodes, crazy. I wonder if they're going to do 30-minute, 40-minute long episodes. What it's going to be. But it looks like a cool rebranding. It looks like in the She-Hulk show, he's
Eldon Henson.
Eldon Henson.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Almost as interesting of a name as Foggy Nelson.
Yeah. It's close.
It's very close.
Yeah.
In the She-Hulk show, we're getting him in that yellow and red kind of suits.
Yeah. And then the Spider-Man freshman year, we're going to see him as well.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of Daredevil.
So there's no shortage of that. I mean, it sucks that we got to wait till 2024, but we got a lot to keep our appetites full. Then.
And we know that Daredevil is also going to be showing up in other things that they haven't announced yet. So, it'd be cool. And it'd be cool to see. This most likely is going to be its own continuity. So they may borrow some stuff from the Netflix series, but I feel like that's going to be like its own
I feel like they can get away with almost just ignoring most of it.
We just want Daredevil in this world. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. So we're getting Daredevil. Anthony, how are you feeling?
Cool. Yeah, I love Daredevil. I'm not big on Charlie Cox as Daredevil, but I do like Daredevil as a character.
Nice.
I'm interested to see how they do his character now.
Yeah.
With a more Marvel-esque look to it, and have him actually jump from a skyscraper down without having hurt himself.
Yeah. So he has a bit of a different costume when we saw it in She-Hulk. Do we not?
Yeah,
didn't it look more like black and red?
Well, that's what I said. Yeah.
I thought it was yellow.
It's
Yeah.
yellow.
It's like a yellow and red type of.
Which is the yellow and red.
Like with the comic book Daredevil too, we saw that too. Right?
And Born Again, I don't know if you guys read it. It's an interesting tale.
It's Frank Miller, right?
It's Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli who created that story, who kind of created this insanity version of Daredevil, and he goes down this path. So I'm interested to see if that's where they're going to go with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm all for Daredevil.
Yeah. And now he's back. And again, 18 episodes, a very interesting number of episodes to order. Yeah. And I'm hoping that since Disney is now a lot more open to mature content, make this a mature rated show, because you could do that now. And then we thought that was great. That was enough already to just keep us entertained. And then Marvel had to say, you know what? Let's talk about Phase 6. So right off the bat, we got Fantastic Four hits theaters on November 8th, 2024. Production kicks off next year. And it's going to be introducing, obviously, Marvel's most iconic family. I think we'll hear more about the cast come D23 for this film, because, I mean, you will have to hear who's directing this movie and who's starring in it at this point. But November 2024, I think we all predicted that it's going to be a 2024 movie. I think having the 4 in the year is also just a part of that marketing thing. You just see it in the trailer, the 4 coming in and then staying there, right? Really excited for that. And then we got probably the biggest announcements of the night. It's going to be Avengers, the Kang Dynasty is going to be opening up in theaters May 2nd, 2025. And Avengers Secret Wars for November 7th, 2020.
5.
Yeah, not we didn't miss it, right? 2020. Yeah.
It already happened. What do you think?
May and November, the same year, we're getting 2 Avengers movies.
It's not going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen one bit. I definitely think they're going to push this to the next May.
Considering that we only got shown 3 films in Phase 6, by D23, this is going to be like, and expand. And then it'll be like, oh, this is actually coming out here and there. It'll probably be like, I can't see them doing what they did with The Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, where they did the same year, like just a few months apart. Literally the same months as well, May and November.
And I think too, when we look at Marvel's track record in the last couple of years, obviously even before COVID, once you factor in the Spider-Man movie, once you factor in whatever's going to get announced this September, because there's still 8 more projects to announce for these phases, things are going to move around.
Oh yeah.
So I do not anticipate these movies releasing the same year at all, because I think it's silly too.
Imagine if they did stick their landing, like that'd be like, whoa,
good for you guys.
Good for you, Marvel.
Yeah, like it always takes one, right? It only takes one. So who knows if they get a director, and we know it's not.
We know it's not the Russo brothers.
No.
But it's interesting because Kevin Feige said no, they're not directing this movie, but it's not. He didn't say that they're not ever coming back to Marvel.
No, he said they want to find a project to work together with them.
So that's interesting because they're not done yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe that. I believe the Russos will always wonder and venture back into the Marvel world.
They've directed 4 of their most successful movies.
But yeah, like who knows if they get a director who can do it.
Who do you guys think it's going to be? Also, what are these movies? Like, we know obviously Kang is going to be showing up everywhere. Secret Wars is its own entire thing.
I hope it's not Taika Waititi.
I don't think it'd be Taika.
I don't think it'd be
Taika. Taika's with Star Wars,
right.
And I wonder if it's a directing duo. Like, I wonder if it's going to be a duo of directors again.
It would have to be a movie that really was surprising to Marvel, because the Russo brothers, when they did Winter Soldier and then they did Civil War, that really put them on a pedestal. So what director in the past 2 years who's done a Marvel film really put themselves up there in terms of?
We've got a few. I mean, and then you had you mentioned somebody yesterday to me.
Who did I mention to you yesterday?
Coogler.
Oh, Ryan Coogler. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'd be interested to see if it's Ryan Coogler, but I also think that would be probably 5 years of his life just on these 2 movies, and shooting and everything.
And I feel like he's like, for him, Black Panther is a personal project.
Yeah.
So he wants to continue that. I mean, as of right now, and I don't think this is the person that's going to be doing it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Peyton Reed is one of the longest running. In the moment, he's in the MCU.
First to complete a trilogy of movies.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just someone that hasn't done a Marvel film yet either, because that is something that could be possible too.
Christopher Nolan's coming in off of Oppenheimer.
If you think about it, Joss Whedon kind of came in and did the Avengers film after not having done any previous film. Now that version of Marvel compared to this version of Marvel we're in right now, very different.
Yeah.
So who knows where they go with this? Maybe it's Kevin Feige. Maybe he's going to direct them.
Maybe he's just like, you know what, guys? I'm tired of just being the producer. I'm going to
direct them.
I'm going to direct it now.
Who would you want?
Myself.
If you had, and not Christopher Nolan, because he's not going to do this.
Are we talking from the pool of directors now?
Of available directors.
Oh, man.
And Christopher Nolan would never do this because it's too much CG.
He doesn't know CG. He's going to turn them into mutants. And
he's like, I want to actually blow up this building.
It's going to be a $1 billion movie. I don't know. Like, I honestly, I'm trying to think who could direct these movies. And the Russo brothers were the ones I immediately went to, but I'm also thinking, okay, let's look at the movies and what we've had so far in Phase 4.
Joseph Kosinski.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Joseph Kosinski, but he hasn't directed a Marvel movie. But like, would we see him come in here? I feel like they would want someone who has some type of CG background. Like, I don't think Jon Favreau would come back and do this. I don't know.
No,
I don't think so.
Who knows? I mean, there's such a, like, I'm looking at this list of directors. Obviously, we had Adnan Bilal who did Miss Marvel. We had like that their directing duo. Who knows where they kind of go down the path of? I think I don't want to know until like they announce it. Like, I don't want to guess because I want to be surprised by whoever they say.
Yeah,
Yui Bowl is coming to direct.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
but yeah, I feel like we'll have to know probably soon because they're going to
2023
by next year. We'll know because they're going to start shooting this movie most likely next year in 2024, right?
Yeah.
So
it's
they're going to probably shoot back to back as well. Right?
Exactly,
they would have to.
I know we were talking about like time and how old we would be, but it's 2025. These films are supposed to come out, so We're in 2022. That's only 3 years to make these movies.
Like
And
they're in
usually
pre-production right now.
It usually takes 2 years to make an Avengers style movie.
Yeah.
And
the script should be pretty much done.
2 of them back to back, and the script is pretty much done.
Should be at least somewhere at the end.
We don't know who's writing it.
process.
We don't even know who the Avengers are, right? We don't who would. And I think we were talking about this yesterday. Who would be the Avengers for this phase? You know, I said Shang-Chi would be one
Shang-Chi
of them.
for sure.
She-Hulk or the Hulk. I don't know if the Hulk is what's he doing.
And see, this is what I find
Thor.
interesting about this. The next 4, 5, 6 phases here is that we're not getting that many sequels to the existing characters. I mean, Ant-Man for sure, obviously, because yes, that's the 3rd film, and we had Doctor Strange, I think. But Shang-Chi, we don't see a sequel for that in the next 3 phases upcoming.
Yeah, or not that's been announced.
You know,
right.
So it's interesting to see that. Like we're getting the Marvels, which will at least include Miss Marvel. But what about Moon Knight? Like, are we going to see a second season of Moon Knight? Is he going to be in a movie?
I think next steps for all of these characters, like Amon Vellani, obviously we know is going to be in the Marvels. I think the purpose of their shows was to tee them up to now appear in movies, and I think the next time we're going to see Moon Knight, the next time we're going to see Blade. I think we'll see Moon Knight and Blade.
Yeah,
I think we can see it. I think we'll get Ghost Rider teased in Blade, because we know Blade is coming out next November.
Yeah,
right. That's the 2023 movie I was trying to think about, and then Thunderbolts is 2024. I think we'll see Moon Knight show up in Blade, because they're like, hey, we know who he is, we know what he's all about.
Here's the next thing.
Now he is here, and I think the shows were just mostly a springboard to show up in the movies, and people be like, I know who these people are.
Do you think Blade is an Avenger with his samurai sword?
Maybe.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Why not?
But yeah, I mean, Marvel again, just coming out and being like, this is what we got. We'll see you in September for more. And it's like, who knows what's going to come in September?
D23 is going to be nuts, man.
It's going to be
They're
crazy.
going to show the first trailer for Secret Wars there. They haven't filmed it yet.
They didn't even show us the Kang Dynasty yet.
Yeah, no.
Definitely, like, if they are going to be doing a Secret Wars, they got to have Spider-Man and the Hulk.
Yeah, and Black Suit Spider-Man. Because that's where he gets the symbiote, right?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He gets his suit that way.
It's a big movie. And then where do the Spider-Man movies factor into all of this, right? So we don't have any on the books
Sony's
yet.
doing their own press conference soon, I think.
Probably, yeah.
SonyCon?
Yeah, SonyCon.
Moving on.
That's it. That's all of Comic-Con. That's all we got for
all
Comic-Con.
of Comic-Con. Anything else? For real? We got everything?
I think we got everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
Everything.
So moving on to our last news story. We're talking about directors. Steven Spielberg, The Fabelmans, to world premiere at TIFF. His first appearance at the fest. This is coming from Zach Schraff of Variety. That's crazy. Like, to think, like, TIFF's been around for so many years. This is his first time here.
First time at TIFF, yeah. Thanks, Steven.
Steven Spielberg is set to make his first ever appearance at the Toronto International Film Festival with the world premiere of The Fabelmans. The Oscar winner's latest is billed as a deeply personal portrait of 20th century American childhood. Spielberg based the film on his own early years and co-wrote the script with his Lincoln, Munich, and West Side Story screenwriter Tony Kushner. The official synopsis for the movie from TIFF reads, The Fabelmans is a coming-of-age story about a young man's discovery of a shattering family secret and an exploration of the power of movies to help us see the truth about each other and ourselves. The Fabelmans' ensemble cast includes Michelle Williams, Paul Dano, Seth Rogen, Gabriel LaBelle, Gianni Berlin, Julia Butters, Robin Bartlett, Keely Karsten, and Judy Hirsch. The film is produced by Christy Mashako Krieger, Spielberg, and Kushner.
It's
a lot of names. Sorry about.
No, it's okay. it's very much like Belfast. Like I find, right? It's like a story about his life, but it's not him, right? It's not like is a kid named Steven?
No.
Yeah.
No, but it does look like Steven Spielberg.
Right?
He does have similar like eyes and like the just the face feels like, oh, that could be a young Spielberg.
Yeah. So
everyone's, you know, it is kind of dive into, I guess, his story of growing up and finding movies and making movies his passion.
Right.
But that I think the question is, what's that family shocking event that kind of puts him like, is Steven Spielberg adopted?
Are they going to reveal that in the movie?
Which is he's not, but you know, like there are biographies, but like, yeah, what is the shocking
What is that event?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's interesting, right? So I'm curious to see what this is going to be, and for it to be at TIFF, that's huge. So hopefully we'll be able to watch it and review it and meet Steven and then hang out with him.
Are
and,
you gonna do your impression, Anthony?
You know,
What's my impression
of Steven Spielberg?
Oh,
when you
about,
meet
like
him?
theaters and
Yeah, you have infamous, like for the
my God,
old time fans.
I don't remember.
Old time fans of the show.
What was it?
Well, I can't do it. It was a you thing.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
Dude, you're talking like that was
like 2019. That was like 2019.
Yeah.
Anthony.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm a different person now.
You
I don't
are.
even
My
remember.
impression is different now.
Oh, what would your impression now be?
I don't know.
I am
I'm
Steven
on the-
Spielberg.
no.
Hi,
Yeah,
hello.
I'm Steven Spielberg.
That's
Hello.
great. Spot on impression. But yeah, we'll wait for that one in 2 months before TIFF. Less than 2 months.
Yeah, and it's
Wild.
pretty cool. It's gonna world premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival. It looks like this is a movie that he is going to be pushing towards the Oscars. So
Yeah, it's his Belfast.
can you imagine like he wins an Oscar
He takes
best
himself.
directing
Yeah.
of himself?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother level of
Spielberg?
100%. I'm gonna kick it to Shay for some box office.
Box office. Cha-ching. So we got a lot of information for the box office, of this weekend. Nope. Opened up this weekend.
It did.
And it opened to 44 million. Less than what they anticipated at around 50, but it's still pretty good. Get Out opened to 33, and Us had opened to 71 million. So
Yeah.
definitely a bit of a
Interesting.
Yeah, Us also
A
had
drop.
the horror movie factor coming off of Get Out,
Yeah.
and it was coming out, I think, in a really good time where this is very much a summer blockbuster. And I
Yeah.
think Nope's gonna be fine though.
Yeah, I think
It's
Nope's gonna be
still
fine,
doing well.
too.
And the budget was 68 million.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it'll be opening up internationally mid-August, though, so we won't be getting those worldwide numbers for a little while. Thor: Love and Thunder dropped to 22.1 million. It has about 598 million worldwide so far. I'm curious if it's going to get to Ragnarok level, which was about 853 million.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but it also, to factor in as well, Ragnarok had China and Russia, where Thor: Love and Thunder don't have those. So it's still obviously doing fine, but
Yeah.
it's not taking the world by storm.
No.
Yeah, but the big chunk of box office is
Yeah. Minions: The Rise of Gru is at 17.7 million, and worldwide so far about 640.2
the movie's
million.
been out for 4 weeks already.
4 weeks.
Jeez.
Yeah, nuts,
Good for
right?
the minions. Good for those.
Good for them.
Good for
Those
them. Those
blubbering
little banana
yellow-
bitches. Yeah.
Yeah. Were the Crawdads Sing at 10.33 million, and it beat Top Gun Maverick just by a hair.
Just buy a crawdad.
Just by a crawdad. Just by a single crawdaddy.
Crawdad leg.
Crawdad leg. Now, interesting about Top Gun Maverick, though, is that it has not made less than 10 million in a single weekend since its release.
God
Which is
damn.
nuts. Like, this movie came out 4 years ago now, I think, at this point.
Biggest
So it feels
surprise
like-
of the year in
Huge.
terms of the box office success, the domestic take it's doing, and
It's
this week to week.
it's beat Avengers. It's beat everything pretty much so far. So,
Titanic for domestic, unreal.
so yeah, that's crazy. I'm curious to see. By the time we get to watch it at home, I think next year,
2025. I think when we watch Secret Wars,
yeah, over the day we'll
it
be
will
like, hey
finally
guys,
be
look.
home release of
We'll be
Top
in,
Gun
we'll be in our
Maverick.
wheelchairs and be like, hey guys, look.
Wait, do you plan on being in a wheelchair in 3 years? From old age, not from like an accident. Home.
No, yeah, just from old age.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be like how old in 2025?
94.
94.
Yeah.
Or Anthony's favorite year, 95.
95, great year.
Great. 95 is a great year.
Good year. What movies came out in 95, Anthony? I don't want to tell you.
I don't.
Let's not get into it. Thank you, Shay, for the box office announcements.
Hey, no problem.
Let's move on to some trailers. We have a lot of trailers. Some of them that we've actually just talked about. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Black Adam, Shazam: Fury of the Gods, Lord of the Rings: The Ring of Power, John Wick 4, I Am Groot, which I forgot to mention was part of that animated.
Oh, it was part of the
panel.
animated panel. You're right. Yes.
But because we've been seeing so much of it,
Yeah.
it's like
And it's like a
coming out
short.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or next week.
It's August 11th.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like there's like a few minute long short films. Yeah, so it's not like a big thing.
Teen Wolf
The movie. Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, Don't Worry Darling, which is the Olivia
Wilde.
Wilde's movie. Not Okay, Halloween Ends, Mystic Quest Season 3, The Sandman, Last of Us Part 1, and Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, we included here, even though we didn't get the trailer for it. This is showing exclusively in theaters in front of Nope, I'm assuming in IMAX only.
Yeah.
And it has a live countdown to the actual release of the movie next year, which I thought was pretty cool. Like, it's such a Nolan thing to do with time.
100 days of... Like it says, like the time, like the 100 days, 25 hours.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah. So it's crazy to think that, like, again, Nolan loves starting the marketing campaign a year early. We got that first poster, which literally it lit the world on fire, but it didn't really do much for us in terms of it being like when you think of Nolan's posters, he usually has something really iconic looking.
Yeah.
This one was just like, it looks like a wildfire, even though it's a bomb going on.
And we kind of saw the trailer. We did. We saw the pirated version.
Yeah,
of this trailer.
we saw a post that somebody did where we didn't.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah,
you didn't watch it?
No,
it did.
I don't want to watch it. Like Christopher Nolan's trailer, I want to watch it properly.
Do you think it's going to release?
So you don't
at
want me to
home?
say what it's about? Like I want to talk about the trailer though.
Well, what are you gonna say about the trailer?
It reminded me of like Mank. The Netflix show.
Next movie.
It just did. It just because it like. My thing is like the story of Oppenheimer is the guy who built the atomic bomb. So what is the story you're gonna tell me? What is something I didn't know about Oppenheimer that's gonna really shock the shit out of me?
Yeah.
And I think and just like Mank, which was based on the guy who wrote the
Citizen Kane,
and it was shot in black and white. What are you gonna tell me in this story that really connects with me? And and when I saw that, I kind of got vibes and. It looks beautiful because it's shot in IMAX. But what are you going to tell me with Oppenheimer that is so earth-shattering that I'm going to really be interested in this film?
I think to your point, I totally get where you're coming from. I'm the same way, but I'm also going into it like with all Nolan movies where it's like, okay, what's Nolan's take on a World War II movie or Tenet or, like Dunkirk, which I was saying. I think if it was any other director, no one would be talking about this movie. But because it's Christopher Nolan and Christopher Nolan wanted to do this movie and Christopher Nolan has this he's a genre within himself at this point where people will show up and a movie like Dunkirk will make over $700 million.
Right.
Or you'll have a movie like Interstellar doing crazy numbers because people love Nolan. I think Nolan's going to bring something big to this movie. He's probably going to set off a nuclear bomb somewhere. Like there's going to be a lot, and you're going to know that this movie is going to deliver, I think, in the way it's edited, the way it's going to probably be non-linear, the way the effects and the action is going to be. There's probably going to be a lot to it. And
you think there'll be a lot of action?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
I don't think this is just a Nolan drama. I think this is going to be something that's going to have drama.
Like World War II style storyline to it. It's not just Oppenheimer. I'm doing the mathematical equations to build an atomic bomb.
It's going to be more Dunkirk than it is Imitation Game. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's going to be...
You sure about that?
I think so.
Okay.
But again, I could be wrong. But I also look at a movie like Intimidation Game, and that movie was very engaging to watch, right?
Imitation Game?
Huh?
Imitation Game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's an Intimidation Game.
Oh my, I can't say that.
I was like, what movie was that?
Imitation Game. Yeah. Like, I think it's going to be more Dunkirk in terms of there's still going to be big action to it, but it's also going to be engaging that way. But who knows?
Another trailer, Halloween Ends.
I was really disappointed by this trailer.
Really?
I did not. I saw this trailer and I thought, what an oddly edit. Again, thinking about even more now compared to the Black Panther trailer we just got. What a weirdly edited trailer, where it was just like, okay, we're having a face-off between Jamie Lee Curtis and Mask Man Michael Myers. And it's like I was like, this just feels more like Halloween Kills, and like it didn't really do anything for me to get excited for this movie.
It was messy.
It was just a really weird. I just found it really weirdly edited, where it wasn't building anything. It was just like, let's fight, and then it's done.
I dug the trailer. This is so weird. Like I reminded me of the first one. Like
I hope it's more
just
the first
in
one.
terms of less campy of the second one. But I don't know. I'm down for Michael Myers to see where this last story goes.
Yeah, we're getting a time jump in this one too.
Which should have been the last one.
Like, what was the time jump? Like, do we know?
I think they said it was 5 years.
Was it 5 years?
Man.
Oh, I thought it was like the year after.
Maybe it's the year after. I don't know. I couldn't. Again, the trailer doesn't do a good job of telling us. So, Let's see what happens.
Mythic Quest Season 3.
Looks great.
Looks like more Mythic Quest. Excited for that.
Don't worry, darling.
Don't worry. Looks great too.
Looks
Great trailer.
really good.
Yeah, really cool trailer.
Olivia Wilde is painting this picture of like Black Mirror meets like the 50s.
Yeah.
And I don't know, does it take place in our time or does it take place in that time?
Yeah.
It's an interesting dynamic with the characters, and Chris
They look
Pine.
cool. Very like psychological thriller.
100%. I hope it just
Like Stepford Wives type of thing.
yeah, but I just hope it's not Stepford Wives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stepford Wives, man, like that movie was like really big though. Like, I remember the marketing
the casting for it, right?
4 years in between.
4 years. Okay.
4 years,
Pretty
yeah.
close. Yeah. So just 5 minus the 1.
5 minus the 1. We were
There
right.
we go.
The Last of Us Part 1 got a look. We got to look at that, which
A
was like
gameplay look, yeah.
10-minute look at that. I was going to mention to you guys, there's been a lot of controversy over the pricing of this, and we have Case Kirby, who's a friend of the show, wrote into us as we were recording this right now to ask us what our thoughts are with the $70 price of The Last of Us Part 1. Shay, I'll get you to start us off if you have any thoughts on it. About like, do you think it's worth the $70?
So one of the things that you and I have discussed predominantly on the show is games are underpriced.
It's true.
We talk about the amount of work that gets put into them, the amount of everything else that's done with them. At the end of the day, $70 is definitely a lot, or is it $60 in the States, $70 here? I don't know how it works.
I think it's $70 in the States and $89
here. Okay.
Yeah.
Regardless of that thing, if you really want to play something, if you really want it, you'll put that money towards
right.
it. Right. At the end of the day, speak with your wallet. I think the animation that's redone, I think all the gameplay mechanics that are redone, it doesn't seem like they just went into a program and said up res.
Yeah, or
it looks
this
like
is not GTA.
Command
No,
save.
This is not
as-
GTA.
this command save .ps5 file. Like this seems like almost like a rebuild of the whole game. Along that, you're getting accessibility features that won awards in Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
And now they've taken that even a step further. They have like described audio in it too now, which is something that we've never really seen in a game before.
Right.
And I imagine the complexity behind creating something like that is there too. So I think games, whatever game it is, usually it's priced fairly enough. I think
Yeah.
we're always getting a steal on them no matter what, because of the amount of years and hours that we can put into a game. So
Right.
I think it's fine. I think it's justified. But again, I know I'm in the minority of this.
Right.
But people will speak with their wallet.
Why are you in the minority?
I don't know.
Because
I guess
we're right. Because we're right.
because you look online and everyone is upset about paying money for
Then don't
something.
buy it.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with you.
And that's where I'm at with it, where I'm like, sometimes I'll have a very reductionist look at things where it's just like so black and white to me, where it's
Right.
like, okay, if you don't think something's worth $70 for you, then don't buy it.
Don't buy it. Move on.
Nobody said playing video games is a cheap hobby. Playing
Yeah.
video games and buying video games is expensive. But you should know that when you look at the caliber of games, especially coming out of PlayStation right now, from Sony Santa Monica, from Naughty Dog, from Insomniac, from Sucker Punch, from all of their studios, you're getting something pretty extraordinary.
Yeah.
And The Last of Us, one of the most celebrated games of all time, is getting remade for PS5. It's not even what remastered was on
No.
PS4, where that was like, yeah, we're going to use the power of the PS4 more,
Yeah.
and that came
That
out
was an
less than a
up-res,
year later.
yeah.
This is a full remake. You see it in the character models, you see it in the animation,
Right.
you see it in the look and the mechanics of the game, especially from that 10-minute video that we got. This isn't just a lazy port,
No.
which for me and for us being Nintendo fans, we've seen ports that are just like, yeah, literally, we're going to save it from here,
Dot
and make
switch.
it playable, and dot switch, right?
Yeah.
This is something that is being remade. So again, if you don't think it's worth it for you, if you don't want to pay it, no one's forcing you to. The PS3 version is forever there. The PS4 version is there. There are very cheap ways of playing it. They're part of the PS Plus collection.
Yes.
You can play it that way. This isn't a version there for newcomers to the game, newcomers to this world, people who didn't play it 10 years ago, people who love the series and want to experience it the best way. This is what it's there. It won't always be $70. We know this video games go on sale, so if you want to wait for sale, you can.
Yeah.
But if you want to play at the beginning, then that's what
That's the
supporting
price of
a-
entry.
That's what the price of entry is. This is what supporting a studio is. This is voting for your wallet. This is supporting the people who make the games that you love, right?
Exactly that. I mean, again, you're getting one of the best stories, one of the best experiences that we ever had. Yes, you've played it before, but now you're going to be playing it in a different way. And if you think that's worth your time and money, pay for it.
Yeah.
If you think that's not worth your time and money, don't pay for it. It's as easy as that.
Yeah.
But complaining about it,
Yeah, or getting mad at people who are excited for it, or
that
people
is
who
just
are buying
weird.
it. Look after yourself, man.
Yeah, man.
Don't worry about other people.
Like it's just, I mean, obviously we know the console wars are ridiculous as they are, but
Stupid.
like any weird like brand loyalty
Yeah.
wars are really weird in my own
Yeah.
opinion. But like, just let people be.
Yeah.
Let them buy the game. Let them enjoy the game.
Yeah, and this is we're talking about The Last of Us, but this applies to every single game, every single console. If it's something that you find value in, then you'll find value in it, and then paying that $70, I look at it as I spend $20 for a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
You know, to spend $80 on a game that's going to be 10 to 15 hours that I get to replay and have and do whatever I want in that world. That's not a big barrier of entry for myself, and that's
Yeah.
the way I look at it.
And we're not snobs in the sense of
We're
like,
snobs.
We are snobs.
Yeah, no,
no,
I'm
but
kidding.
we
I'm
love like we're like Daniel, you and I recently got internal hard drives for a PS5.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big thing all over the internet. People were tweeting about it. I think there was an article on Variety about us getting
Gizmodo actually did an
Gizmodo made
article on
one.
us, yeah.
Anthony was a little upset about it. Obviously, he didn't want to be part of the internal PS5 gang.
Yeah, no, I didn't. But that's like it sums up what you want to do with your money, right? Like you wouldn't do things that I would do with mine, and I wouldn't do things that I would.
Yeah, exactly.
You do, right?
No, you're
Like,
absolutely right.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right.
yeah.
You turned that into a much more positive thing than I was
Yeah.
going for. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it like we now want to put these games on our PS5s and play them the way that the PS5 can play these games.
Right.
So we're gonna put our money towards that and,
Yeah.
and invest in it.
And it's like we like it, we want support, and I know the same is for you, Anthony. I was going to get you to jump in here with your thoughts on it.
Yeah, like this is not a game that's new, right? So if you don't want to spend that $70, eventually will be on sale, and it's not like you're losing out because you've already played it in a sense,
Right.
And you say if you don't want to put all that money up front, you wait for it to be like $29,
Right.
And that's maybe the price point you feel like the game was worth it. But like my grandmother always had like this saying, like it costs what it costs, and
Right.
and if it makes sense to you, then you invest your money into it.
Right,
And I think for a, if you watch that 5 or 10 minute video on YouTube on how they built this game, this is like built from the ground up. Like they're giving you a lot of stuff. This is not the GTA remaster. This is not
The trilogy remaster.
the trilogy
right? Yeah.
remaster. This is really, they've invested their time. They actually took the time to make this video, this featurette on how they made this game. And I think that investment really says a lot about why this game is worth that $75.
I agree with you.
And maybe for that week or the 2 weeks that are leading up to it, if you really invested in it, don't save $75. Save it right now. If that's something that you really are passionate about.
Save $5 a week, and you could probably have close to the amount.
Maybe.
Yeah, now we're telling people how to
Or trade in
spend
the money.
trade in some of your old games and maybe get some credit.
But again, you see why like they're releasing this because guess what? There's the Last of Us HBO show that's coming out next year, and they want to have a version of this game out there. So for people who fall in love with the show, they'll fall in love with the game. Look again, we were talking about The Walking Dead earlier this episode. The Walking Dead was the comic book series, inspired the show, which was a global phenomenon, which then lit the fire of the sales of the comic books on fire. Like it went crazy for people trying to get the Walking Dead comic books because they love the show and they want to support the series. They want to read the books, see where the story goes, see how it differs. Right. The same thing is going to happen with this. Right.
Yeah.
We're having a new version of it.
Yeah. I'm just happy that video games have not gone up in price so exponentially like
They could have
should
easily
have
been, right?
Like I remember buying video games in the 90s and they were like $100.
Yeah.
Like I remember buying WCW versus NWO and that game was $99.
Yeah.
Oh man, N64 games.
Yeah, that was
Super
expensive.
And back in the 90s, especially.
Yeah. I remember buying.
Shout out to my mom for buying those.
Yeah, I think about that all the time. I'm like, man. And then we had a time where I think it was like the GameCube era to PS to the Wii era where it's like $59.
Yeah.
But that's also because our dollar here in Canada was doing a lot better.
was a lot better,
right? And then our dollar tanked. But I remember buying the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers on GameCube.
Oh wow!
I bought it at Toys R Us with my Christmas money. And it was $89.99.
That was a blockbuster rental for me.
Yeah, love that game though. It's a
Great game.
Great game.
Great
yeah.
game.
And I always found it funny because those games came out like either the week the movie came out or like the week before. So it's like you have cutscenes from the movie in the game. What a time that was.
I do want to mention something because you mentioned Lord of the Rings and we didn't mention it in the trailer. Lord of the Rings of Power, the Rings of Power showcased a lot of footage, but I think we finally see Sauron for the first
We did,
time.
yeah.
We did, yeah.
And it's
A
interesting.
lot of good
'cause
memes came out of that.
we never really I never experienced I don't know what he looks like, and I never read the appendices. I just knew he was like this dark dude, and he had like a helmet on. Like what was he underneath? And now we actually see, his look, his kind of like elvish, but like emo-ness.
The Eminem
memes. They call them like British as well.
Yeah.
But again, like these legends have to start from somewhere, right? So I'm really curious to see. It's almost like when you look at like different mythologies and different like religious backgrounds, when you think of like Lucifer being like a very good looking angel and everything, the fall from grace, and now like to be Satan and that. So it's like it's cool to see like that transition of how are you going to go from this character to
character.
Sauron.
Another big thing that came out of this, and I've seen a lot of articles, is a lot of fans are calling Lord of the Rings woke. That because there's a diverse cast now, that there is this wokeness, and they're not really happy with how diverse the cast is, which is it's surprising because like reading Lord of the Rings, no one ever in that book is mentioned by skin color. I don't think got like trees talking and
well, they have to be male trees first of all, because that's the way that the world works, right?
But yeah, there's a lot of male, female. There's a lot of black, Spanish, Asian. There's a whole diverse aspect to this storyline, and I don't understand why people are so. I get it. They're racist. I
think
that's the answer,
that,
right?
But like, I know we can compare. Like, well, you wouldn't take Captain America and make him black, right?
Are we sure about that?
And we are.
Yeah.
But like Steve Rogers, in a sense. But that's different because these are stories that are actually still continuing with these characters.
Right.
Well, Lord of the Rings, they haven't really. The appendices are the appendices.
These are new characters that they're introducing.
You don't even visually see them either.
No.
Like there's not a drawn version or colored version of these people in this world. So you don't know what they are.
Yeah. Jesus wasn't white.
And it's like
he wasn't.
And it's like I think that's where I'm at with it, where you have people who it comes down to racism and being scared of change, where it's like, guess what? The show's diverse, yes. There's still a million white people in the show, like, and that's what people think is like, oh, that's woke, that's pandering, oh, that's woke pandering. Why are you doing this? Like, why are you trying to change? Like, wait, hold on. You're upset that there's a black person in the show? You're upset that there's a white break
it down for me.
Like, and that's when you hear somebody say that, I'm like, what do you really mean here?
Yeah.
That you're upset that there's
get to your racist idea.
Like just be upfront with your racist. Don't don't
hide.
Don't just generalize and be like it's woke pandering. It's not. It's like here's the Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite trilogies ever. Yeah. It's one of my favorite things ever. What did that series get wrong? Everybody's white in it. You know what I mean? And like at that time, sure, it wasn't that it was acceptable. It was just more.
That's how the world runs.
That's how it was when those movies were made, and that's what Peter Jackson went with it. This show's in a place now. The Rings of Power is in a show where it's like, you know what? We're taking place thousands of years before. We could do a lot of what we want to do, and also let's make up for some of the things that should have been better before. And I think that's all we could really do now is you can't change the past, but you can make for a better future. And having a diverse show, having diverse characters, that's not a bad thing. That's not woke pandering. That is what it should be, right? I promise you, if you go back thousands of years in the real worlds, not a lot of people were white. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like everyone was white. It's like there is a diverse group of people in this world. Not everyone is white.
I don't truly know what woke pandering is. Like, I always think about it. I'm like, what's woke about this? Yeah. And I guess maybe because I'm not white, and I kind of like when I see different cultures appear in movies and shows, it's such a huge celebration for me.
Right. Like people calling Miss Marvel woke. What's woke about it? It's because she's Muslim.
I don't fucking get it. Like I actually
what do you
not
mean?
understand.
You just say that you don't
just
like people
racist.
who aren't white.
Just say you hate other cultures. It's so much easier. I think if people stop hiding behind their ideas and we're just upfront about it, we could just ignore them faster.
Right.
And you're making me get to ignoring you a lot slower, and I don't like that part.
It's upsetting, and just like going back to that, what I was saying before, in the real worlds is like this is what the world looks like.
Yeah,
this is a fucking fantasy world. You're upset like, oh, there's no people who are black or Asian in Middle Earth. I'm like, yeah, but there's no there's no people who could ride dragons and stuff in this world. So like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Season 2 of the movie podcast, we had to replace the guy before me.
Yeah.
And to me, because you guys realized, we needed to be a little bit more woke as well.
Right.
There's a CNN show called United Shades of America. And this year they did a woke episode where like
they talk about woke.
They talk about woke and they go through all these different cities, especially more of the southern. And
was that the HBO show?
It's the CNN show.
CNN show.
It stars
CNN show. Yeah.
Camus Bell.
Yeah. Because there's the other one that we watched.
Yes, you watched it. I don't know if I watched this.
We watched
something else.
Comedian who
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
It was a Vice one, I believe.
Yeah, it was a Vice one.
Yeah.
But United Shades, the first episode, they talk about woke and what it really means, especially coming from the guy who's doing this kind of like documentary story is as a black man. So he's going through town to town talking about what does woke really represent for you. It's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic because it's taking place in the States and there's so many different characters in the States and how they interpret things. So it's a lot of like, I can't believe this is actually a thing.
And again,
this is how they think.
We're not a perfect country. We're far from it.
No,
but it's just one of those things where you're just like, what, like Shay said perfectly, what are you really upset at here? Are you upset that there's a gay character? Do you not like gay people? Or do you not like people of other nationalities? No. And that's what's just so frustrating, because you're just like, just say you're racist or say you're homophobic. So, because then we could, like you Shay said, then not deal with you.
Yeah, just ignore you faster.
Yeah,
that show was called Hate Thy Neighbor.
Hate Thy Neighbor, yeah.
Is it the same dude?
And this is Jamali Maddox. He was a UK comedian.
Yeah.
Yes, he was UK.
That was a great show too.
Great show. Really, really dives into it. At the end of the day, man, for me personally, I can't wait to see a brown person in the Lord of the Rings show. I don't know if the show is going to have a brown person. I don't think I saw anyone in the trailers. That's okay if it isn't yet. I'm also not of that other side where it's like, we need it right now, right away. I know the steps are happening. The foundation is being laid. You can't just flip a switch overnight and all of a sudden everyone on TV the next day or everyone in the movie the next day is a different color. Mm-hmm. It takes time. Is it moving as fast as I'd like? Definitely not. But it's moving. And all I can be is grateful that I'm starting to see people that look like me on screen.
Yeah, I want to say like Sandman does show a lot of diversity because there is... I think it's, and I'm not sure if it's Abel or Cain. It's Abel. Who's the one who kills the brother?
Cain kills Abel, right?
Yeah. Cain. So Cain he's Indian. He's brown. So it's a big, like, Sandman shows a lot of diversity.
That's awesome.
In
in that trailer and that poster came out, you see that, you're like, again, maybe it's where we grew up and, our experiences are very different from other people's experiences, but like, again, it's always interesting
it's hard to dissect.
It's hard to dissect this sometimes, but like growing up, I was always in a diverse school. Yeah. I was always in a diverse neighborhood. So like you're used to that. It's just something that like this is life. This is just how like I don't think of it. You don't think of it any other way until you go somewhere that is predominantly, let's say for me, if I go somewhere that's predominantly white, I'm just like, oh, there's a lot of white.
Yeah. When you're in a super white area, that's when I'm kind of a little scared. I'll be honest with you. Like growing up, there's no denying it. We all grow up and feel different things in different ways, and we're raised a certain way. Like where I don't think I've ever been really racist, like truly in my life ever been racist. But there's moments where you're like, oh, I don't know too much about this culture or this race. Let me find out more about them.
Yeah, education is the
biggest thing. That's why I love meeting people from different parts of the world, because you get so much experience. But I've never been like, oh, that person's black. Oh my God, not talking to them. Or that person's white. I don't want to be friends with them.
Also,
why do I sound like that?
That's your voice when you're racist.
That's my racist voice.
Yeah, but also it comes back to, and I think that's what's possible if we tie it back to just movies and shows, is that when we're watching a movie, when we're watching a show, it comes back to the education thing. We're getting a chance to represent what the world really is. And the world is a very diverse place, and that's what it always should be, and shows should be a reflection of that. You know what I mean? And Lord of the Rings doing that. This is a high fantasy show. Guess what? It's diverse, and that's okay, and that's what it should be. It's to be upset about it is there's other issues you have going on that you need to deal with.
Yeah, if the racists want to be happy, it's a fantasy show. It's not happening in real life. There you go. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You'll move on.
God, it's sad, but no, that's a great point that you brought up, Anthony, because it's true. There's people like that out there. We know people like that in the world, and
we do, unfortunately.
Star Wars. We see it in now Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
we see it in a lot of things.
Look what just happened with Ingram.
Moses
from Obi-Wan, right? That
Weird.
Ian McGregor had to put out a video saying, "Don't be racist." Like I saw that, I'm like, what
Ridiculous.
kind of fucking dystopian world are we living in? That the star of the show had to come out and be like, "Hey, don't be racist." Like that's embarrassing.
Wild.
Embarrassing that
Absolutely
even happened.
wild
It's
that
so
that
sad.
happened.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
But thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, no worries. If you have something to say, you know where to reach us at the hello.
Do you know where to reach us
Hello
at?
at themoviepodcast.ca.
Also, you feel like you're challenging the racist.
No, I'm not challenging.
If you're racist,
right in. Something to say?
If you want to like chime in or give us your opinion.
No,
please.
look, if you are racist, write in. Let us know why you're racist, and we're going to quickly block you and ignore you right away.
Out this week, DC League of Super Pets. We have The Rock or Dwayne Johnson. He gets to play
He's no more Rock. He's no more The Rock.
DC
I think,
characters, a Superman dog and Black
Superman
Adam.
dog, crypto.
Superman dog.
Superman dog. Hey, you know what? We're watching this movie very soon. We're gonna have a review out for it on Tuesday. I'm hopeful for it. I remember going to Teen Titans. Obviously, I was a huge Teen Titans fan growing up. Going to Teen Titans Go, a little iffy because I didn't watch Teen Titans Go. It was a huge surprise for us that year.
We walked out laughing and crafting.
And I'm hoping that the same is for DC League of Super Pets. So fingers crossed here.
Yeah. What are we watching? We're going to start off with Daniel.
I'm not watching, obviously, everything that we've been watching, we've had a review for. But some notable ones I wanted to mention was, of course, Nope. We have a review out. Vengeance. BJ Novak, written and directed. Anthony, I know you didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
Not yet.
Shay and I did watch it. It's a strange film. We didn't put a review out for it. I will say I did like Ashton Kutcher in the film, but only because he was just playing kind of like this suave, weird Texan guy. But I didn't really dig the vibe of like, the premise of the film is basically that BJ Novak is going to Texas because this girl that he hooked up with dies. And
the family
thinks he is her like longtime boyfriend, so he comes, he speaks at the funeral, and then things kind of unravel from there. And while at the same time he is doing a podcast talking about it and documenting it, and it's called Dead White Girl. And it's just I just feel like it's very just kind of on the nose. This movie, it's not subtle, but I'll be honest. There are moments where I was definitely interested in what was happening, and then it just kind of fell off for me, where I just did not really vibe with these characters. I didn't really like these characters or like this world that we were in or the story that it was telling. So for myself personally, it was a skip it for me.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. Skip it as well. Yeah, not much to say about that movie, but not a fan.
I did rewatch The Nice Guys, which is one of my favorite Shane Black films. Phenomenal film. I really hope that we get a sequel to it. Maybe one day. I know it's been like 6 years now since this movie has come out, but I think it's one of Ryan Gosling's best films. I think it's one of Russell Crowe's best performances in the last 20 years. So I would love to see more. And everything else we have reviews out for right now on the feed. But I will want to say I did watch the vast majority of Street Food USA,
yes, that as well.
which is going to be releasing this week as well on Netflix. So really great show. Love the first season of that show. And just learning about the story, learning about these foods. Again, it's one of those shows, don't watch it hungry because you will be very hungry while watching it. So check it out.
What about you, Shay?
I watched a Netflix documentary called Girl in the Picture. I really enjoyed it. It's hard to kind of break down, but there's a lot of great twists and turns in this murder mystery that happened pretty much in the 90s, but the story extends beyond that. It goes back to the past, and really, really good. If you're into true crime docs, I highly recommend it. Girl in the Picture. It's on Netflix. We watched Nope, our reviews after that. I also watched The Nice Guys again because I love it. Vengeance, we just spoke about. We watched Luck as well. We didn't really give a review on that
Yet.
That is embargoed.
So
until the 5th.
Until the 5th of April. It's the Apple TV Plus movie. So look out for more information about that soon.
Yeah. But I guess we could announce something else regarding the Luck.
That's what I was gonna. Can we say it?
I think we can.
Yeah, we can. Okay. Do you want to say it?
Sure.
Say one, and I'll say the other.
Joining us next week on the movie podcast from the very film we're talking about, Luck, is Flula Borg and.
That's what I get for you right now. Eva Blazada.
You got it. Yeah. Who's also going to be in Easter Sunday.
Yes.
very, very kind people. That
Very
we got to
kind,
talk to.
very awesome people to talk to.
Awesome, and Flula obviously from the Suicide Squad and from his comedy and from being on Conan, and he's just awesome. And Evo is also such a great person to talk to too. So look forward to that very soon.
Yeah, look forward to that stuff soon.
Yeah.
I also got a chance to watch The Gray Man. I gave a little tweet review out there, but
I totally forgot that the movie came out this weekend too.
Yeah, and the movie came out this weekend, so I don't know if anyone's actually watching it, but not good. I the more time I've spent away from that film, the less and less I liked it, and that's heartbreaking because I love Ryan Gosling, I love Chris Evans, and
Ana de Armas.
And Ana de Armas. And the Russo brothers were phenomenal in their MCU career. Just their post-MCU career has not been the strongest.
Yeah.
But man, Gray Man, not a good movie.
It's one of those movies that I remember Anthony and I watched it. I remember I'm like, in our review, I'm like, yeah, we had good times with some parts. I think Ryan Gosling carries a lot of that movie. Yeah. And then there's a lot of it where it just really if I was to have to tell you the plot of the movie,
the film.
like I don't really remember it now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where like you have a movie that sticks with you and movies that don't. And it goes back to this was $200 million. And I'm curious to see what the return of it's going to be for Netflix because they also just lost 1 million subscribers this quarter, right? So.
I'm not seeing many people talk about it online, and where this is the opening weekend of that movie.
Right.
I also, when I went on Netflix yesterday, it wasn't on any of my pages.
Which again, I don't understand.
Buried
how it works.
where it was. I have no idea. Maybe because I already watched it. That's why it wasn't there.
But even then, I did it too, and I didn't see it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So just like I don't understand how the algorithm works with Netflix.
I didn't see it. I saw the first thing that popped up on my Netflix was a movie with Steve Carell.
Okay.
Running for mayor or running for something.
Right.
It was like this new movie. I didn't know. I don't know if it was a new movie. I'm pretty sure it's a new movie.
Is it the one where he's got a beard?
Yes.
Yeah.
That showed up, but the Gray Man did it.
Yeah. So very weird.
You think the Gray Man would have showed up because
you think?
So when I open up my Netflix right now, the very first thing is Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
And I see Breaking Bad. I see Young Sheldon.
I'm seeing a lot of Young Sheldon.
I see Continue Watching, and then when I go to Trending Now, then I see The Gray Man. But I have to.
What number is it trending at?
I think it's number one. Number one movies.
What's
right
number
now.
2?
Number 2 movies right now is. I don't think it shows what movie is number 2, but I see the top TV shows, obviously. But yeah, The Gray Man.
That's good. I'm glad that it's somewhere.
Yeah,
trending.
Oh, are you talking about Irresistible?
That's it.
Oh, that movie came out like in 2020.
That was the first thing that pops up as a banner.
It's number 3 in movies today, and then
you're talking about Gray Man?
Irresistible.
Oh, okay.
Gray Man's number 1, but I just wish that there was a list to see what was.
It's clearly an algorithm that's not working.
Yeah,
it should show you the most.
You would just think I've seen more of the Lord of the Rings of Power being advertised to me and everywhere than I've been seeing of the Gray Man, and this is a movie that has a budget more than a lot of MCU movies. Yeah, you know what I mean?
This topic right now literally takes me to my next thing that I watched, and I finally finished Barry, season 3.
Body.
And then I don't know if you're in the same boat as me. Best season.
Yeah, best season. Really, really good.
Phenomenal. Top to bottom. And the episode about the algorithm is literally what I'm thinking about right now.
It's like the Sea Beast is number 2, sorry.
Sea Beast?
When I scroll down, the next category of top movies in Canada today, Gray Man number 1, Sea Beast 2, Irresistible 3.
And Sea Beast has been out for 2 weeks now?
2 weeks now,
2 weeks now, yeah. That's interesting. But yeah, Barry finally finished it. Absolutely phenomenal. This show gets the highest praise from me. This is one of the best seasons of any show in a very long time.
Yeah, it was really, really well done. Every episode just told the story of Barry and the dilemma he is in, especially this season, the dilemma that he's in. And it's a lot of like heart pounding moments because of, if you haven't watched it, Barry is a hitman and it's catching up to him at this point.
Yep. I think it was like episode 6 or 7 with the motorcycle chase that I think was one of the best motorcycle chases I've seen in a TV show or movie in a long time.
I thought the last episode with the, what's his name? The dude in jail. The guy who was
Hank.
Hank.
Yeah.
And that sequence with whatever was happening in that other room, I get, we watch Dope and we know of that sequence with the monkey.
Nope.
Nope. Did I say Dope?
Dope is Dope is another movie.
Dope is another film by Rick Fukuhanga, I think. No, that's not his name.
No, it's not.
It's not his name.
Nope. With the scene with Gordy the monkey. This sequence in Barry had a lot of animals.
It was
scary.
Show don't tell.
And show don't tell.
No, don't tell. Show no. Show don't tell. I don't know what it was.
Don't show.
Tell.
Don't show. But just the
Rick.
the revealing.
Rick Femiu. Yeah.
Oh, Rick from UA.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said dope.
No, it's okay.
You're forgiven.
Don't apologize.
Sometimes
Nope.
I have lazy.
You did text me that too. You're like, man, that scene in Dope, and I was like,
No, I usually
I'll
say
let you,
I usually say that scene is dope,
Yeah.
and then
But again, these movies have very similar names.
but yeah, it was a really good season.
Yeah.
yeah, phenomenal. That scene you're talking about, especially though, it had me scared.
I was like, what the fuck's happening in
Yeah,
this room?
it was.
I know Daniel hasn't watched it,
I
but
haven't watched it. I have to catch up.
Highly recommend this
Holy
season.
macaroni.
One of the best for sure. Yeah, Street Food USA as well. Gray Man I already talked about. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
For
Anthony,
me,
how about you?
Westworld season 4 ended off really interesting. It's one of those stories where you have two stories happening at the same time, but you think they're happening at the same time period, and then when you get to in this case it took 4 episodes to get to the point where this is actually in the future, and whatever you were seeing is actually in the past.
Sucker.
And this is done by Christopher Nolan's brother,
Jonathan Nolan.
Jonathan Nolan, and his wife.
Jay Knowles. Yeah.
No, I forgot his wife's name, but really, really well done. I find Westworld hard to get into. Like, I usually fall asleep during it, and then I'll have to put it on when I'm like really alert.
The Sandman gets you.
The Sandman gets me. Watch Nope. Put on for all mankind, because I heard that they're getting season 4. So I haven't watched the Mars season yet, so put that on. Interesting pacing with For All Mankind is really slow. Like, each episode's an hour, but like just inside these episodes are really, really long.
That's why it was hard for me to continue.
but
it's Lisa Joy you were referring to.
Lisa Joy, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm invested in the characters. I'm invested in the story. It also takes place in an alternate time period where things like the Beatles are still a group.
Oh, that's cool.
Or the Prime Minister of England was killed, and like little things like that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. But liking it. I wish it was just a little bit faster paced. Watched Luck. Watched Street Food USA as well. It made me hungry.
Yeah,
like
very
any
hungry.
type of Netflix food show.
Yeah.
Oh, I also watched the Iron Chef show that I don't know if it's out yet either. I think it's coming out in August.
Yeah, they
Iron Chef Legends.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but
it's really good.
I've seen the trailer for it.
Yeah, it's really good so far.
Do you guys have anything else before we wrap up today's episode?
No,
nothing.
just stay tuned, because the end of July is coming. We have a lot of special guests lined up. August, we have lots of special guests lined up. So a lot is happening, and we have a lot of things that we would love to share with you, but we will share with you when we can and when we know more. So stay tuned for everything.
Yeah, so make sure to follow us at The Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd, and as well as subscribe to our YouTube page, because a lot of those interviews that are coming down the pipeline, they're all going to be there.
You want to see us. You want to see our faces.
You want to see our faces.
Yeah, most of all.
As well as our podcast episodes and our review episodes will be there as well. And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. How many are we at right now?
We're at 191. 190. On Apple Podcasts.
10 more.
10 more away.
200.
Yeah.
Can we do it, guys?
We could do it.
Can we do it?
We can do it.
I bet by tomorrow we'll be at 200.
Tomorrow.
Right after
Okay.
this, you've listened. We know how many people listen to our episodes. We know. We had the numbers.
Yeah.
So after listening to this, go to the bottom of your Apple Podcast page. Scroll up a bit, and you'll see.
Go to the bottom.
Go to the bottom.
Too far.
you'll see our Apple Podcast page. You're gonna see, the movie podcast. You're gonna scroll up. You're gonna see 3 or 5 stars, not 3 stars.
I was
5
like,
stars.
whoa.
And you're gonna just swipe across it, and that's it. And then you can go.
Don't swipe. Just tap on the 5th star.
Just tap on the 5th star.
Yeah, no need to be fancy.
Sometimes
here.
when you do the swipe, it
might just
goes.
then you
back.
give us a 3-star review.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who's been doing it on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
Spotify's going to eclipse Apple Podcasts soon in
One
terms
day.
of ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our Discord channel has been popping too.
Yeah, join. Come say hello.
Oh yeah, it's finger popping.
We got a couple of.
It's a movie reference.
Yeah.
Yes. We got a couple of people that have signed up or
Joined in.
Joined
Yeah.
in
Come
yesterday.
come take the conversation off the podcast and onto our Discord. We love talking to everyone.
And please send us some of your responses, what you're doing, what you're wearing, how you feel about movies. If you have we talked about our woke, we had a little bit of a woke conversation, how you feel about woke in films. You can write into the show at hello. Hello at the movie. Hello at the moviepodcast.ca. Well, you guys are typing really fast. I feel like you guys are just shitting on me.
No. I'm not even talking to Shay.
I'm not talking to each other. Fuck, Anthony. How do you spell that?
Find all that information in our show notes.
And we're just leaving a 5-star review on our own show.
For all those links and more. That was This Time with the Movie Podcast.
And we'll see you next.